Now, let's stick with the characters you guys had. We'll stay with Beckman for at least this session, but we can decide during the course of this session, hey, does this feel right to you guys, or do you guys decide that you want to maybe use characters of 5th edition, and then we can convert. Like, that's not a huge deal. I had already figured out what the XP equivalents would be, so that whatever we gain this time would be easy to figure out. I do have an update. So the last 2 sessions were, on session 41, you guys had arrived. Spring had finally happened after you had spent several months building up a Rakasta village and a dock facility because you had gotten the cats to come below the wall. When spring finally arrived, you guys decided to head back to the mainland for resupply and training.
That's right.
And then also to check on your farm.
I think I went up a level with my short sword, which is really nice.
Yeah, we went and skilled up.
Yeah, so then on session 42, the session after that, you guys traveled the way up the threshold. You looked into Elwyn's theft, you hired a guide, and you went out into the Wolfwood Hills to look into the theft of the holy relic from the church.
I don't remember that.
That's right.
I don't remember that.
I had written that down. I wasn't sure if that was accurate or not, if I'd forgotten some notes. Because I remember us being in the jungles of Chult. I'd forgotten we'd gone back to the Wolfhide.
Yeah, you went back because you wanted to do some training, and while you were there, you're like, hey, there's this theft that just happened. We could go look into it.
Yeah, it was like really close. We were like, fuck it, why not? Let's go.
Yes.
Where's that oven at?
Elwyn stole an artifact from the Karamiko's church.
Yes, she recovered a bell.
Made of platinum and rings.
Yeah.
That rings. Oh, that rings without being struck. Okay.
Yeah. It rings the like the holiday holy times, so it's actually like a relic of the faith.
That's right. And didn't we like see some lights or hear a story of someone who saw some lights coming from the church?
Yeah.
Or the keep? Okay. I'm starting to remember now.
That was like someone. Yeah. Was that like someone upon the islands, I guess? But yeah, I kind of remember that part. Anyways. It's coming back to me.
Yeah, because when you guys had left off of the islands, like literally you guys had helped, you had founded a new Rakasta village on the peninsula beneath the wall. So you had resettled a large cat facility. So it shares that same hex as the main human village. So basically you've made 2 villages share the same hex, including a dock facility that can handle ships like yours from the main continent. So you guys have now founded an actual port facility on the Isle of Dread, ready for later like launching points onto the Isle of Dread for further adventures.
Where's the map? See if I can find that map.
I gotta find everything. It's been a bit. I know I have it saved somewhere.
Star player. Okay.
So the latest version of the player map is that.
Browser.
Oh yeah.
That's right. We sailed the whole fucking island.
Yeah. Like literally I marked with like
We've
every
been here for a minute.
Every C dot that has an orange dot in it, literally you guys had gone and sailed through. Everyone that's a sea lane that has a purple dot in it, you had anchored overnight to do some like long-term exploration. So you guys fucking
out there for a while.
You guys encircled the island. You basically didn't touch everywhere inland, but you guys have a real good idea of the geography of the island, where the main reefs are, how to avoid them. And you had even gotten word that there's some like the location of those weird like elemental like portals you had heard word of. You just didn't go to investigate them yet.
That's right. And where's our dock? That's down to the south, right?
So if you look on the southern peninsula where the black dots of the towns, it's that where it really narrows, there's a wall all the way across it because the islanders had over the last 2 centuries built a wall to keep the dinosaurs out, the big ones anyway. And they man that wall from that. That's the main village right there. So there's 4 villages on the isthmus, the peninsula, and another 3 on the various other islands. And you guys built a secondary village in that same hex where the wall is, just on the northern coast.
That's right there. Wasn't there a sea serpent somewhere around here that we had to like mess with?
You'd heard word that there was a kraken.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd seen it though.
We might not have seen it.
The other one
don't
people
remember.
talk about is in that bay on the other side, not the side where you built the dock, but the other side of the isthmus. In that little protected bay where on the south side there's that huge reef. People talk about how there's an island that moves.
That's right. There's a turtle in there, or something.
Right.
So that's where we had left off before you guys left the Isle of Dread. When you went back to Karamakos... Boo, 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 boo.
And there's dragons on those volcanoes. Remember that bit too. And there's good fishing in those reefs.
Oh yes.
Of course.
I mean,
I think we legit spent like
the name's
a day or
Asiago
two.
Dupont. If there's anything we're gonna be doing, it's gonna be some goddamn fishing every now and then. All right.
Yeah, no, I think we like purposely stopped and spent a couple of days at like one of the reefs just fishing.
I do love how I get to use that voice all the time now. At least 2 days a week, I'm potentially gonna be using that fucking voice for like 3 hours a day. It's gonna fuck with my.
Just it starts slipping in while you're
Yeah,
working.
I tell you what.
What was that? What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking
I don't know what to talk about. Talking crazy.
All right, so that's the zoomed in where you guys are actually at with Threshold. The whole nation of Karamakos is, just to give you guys a reminder of the nation you guys come from, is that. So it has the mountains that run, that's the northern border. So on the other side of the mountains to the north is Darrican. To the east is the Empire of Theatus. To the west is the Shires of the Halflings. And to the south are the Minthrod Guilds and the Erendi Isles. And then across the Sea of Dread, further to the south, is the Isle of Dread that you guys had gone to.
I am.
Yeah, because you guys own a boat. So you guys sailed your boat up the river. I believe you guys probably either you docked it back in Specularum, which is on the capital on the coast, or you did it all the way upriver to the barony of Kelvin, the actual like city of Kelvin there. Because that's, you guys have a decent sized boat.
I think we went to Kelvin so we could train up, and then we took like a river barge up.
Yeah,
further.
okay, that makes sense. Like to get to Threshold to like check in on things, because you guys own some property in Threshold.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys also owned a farm out towards the Black Eagle Barony, out towards the city of Loon, the Free City. Near, you guys bought that one farm that you left your companions at.
Yeah.
Near the keep with that creepy
Two ogre?
scythe in the courtyard.
Yeah.
Where you guys had fought all the were-rats down in the basement.
There was a scythe that was like dripping black blood or something.
Yeah, and it was nighttime in the courtyard, no matter what time of day it was.
Right.
Yeah.
How many minions did we have at that farm? I think it was like 2 ogres.
There was
Yeah,
2 ogres, a bunch of goblins, or
We had a
kobolds.
hobgoblin.
No, it
I
was
think, in there.
hobgoblins. It was the
Yeah.
hobgoblins from Rablub Keep, the ones that had been allied with the were-rats. You guys pointed out, like, hey, we're way better than the were-rats as allies, and we're not going to try to eat you. So,
We're
and
down.
the hobgoblins were like, well, you can kill us pretty easy, so, okay. That's, like, and you're going to pay us, and we get to have land that we can defend? Okay. So, yeah, they've been basically fortifying the keep over winter.
So I'm gonna point out something really quick because I feel like it's really important. I don't know what this Wii shit is because I remember somebody in the party was like, "This is a dumb idea," and I was like, "And I'm gonna do it." So
Okay, so specifically, yes, it was you.
Total
I'm just
complete
when I
team
use
victory.
the you, it's both general and specific simultaneously.
The royal you.
It's the yes.
the royal
What-
you.
Was I the one who thought it was a dumb idea? I don't remember this. I do remember the minions.
I imagine it was Linus, but I'm just gonna spit.
I mean,
Yeah,
Linus has
probably.
a problem with goblins.
Linus was not. It was in fact not a fan of the idea of what Eleanor's planning on doing.
But it makes sense for Linus. It kind of goes against his
Right,
principles.
right. I'm not
He's
saying
like,
that it
what
was.
the?
I'm not
You're not saying
saying
it was Captain. Fucking Captain.
no.
I mean,
My brother Linus
I
was
was
like, "What
fine
the
with
fuck
it.
are you doing?"
Linus is like,
Linus,
Linus.
he hates goblins for
He
good
hates
my
reason.
goodness.
Things.
Yep.
Hobgoblins, well, it's gotta hob them. Goblins.
Got hopping. They
These are true
hoblin and they
statements.
goblin.
True statements of facts.
Are we close enough to swing by there? Actually, I mean, it doesn't really matter if we're close enough. We can still swing by there. It'll just take a little while.
Yeah. So basically, what it comes down to: did you guys want to continue trying to follow up on this quest you got about recovering the bell from this thief, not Elwenwe, Elwyn, or do you want to go check out the farm, or do them in some order?
I think we were gonna do the like the keep, and then once we'd finished all that up, go back and deal with the farm. If I remember correctly.
I mean,
I necessarily wouldn't mind going back to the farm. It's been quite a while, right?
definitely has, because we went on the boat and everything.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I think it'll be potentially give us a good point to, get everything established at the homestead, make sure that thing hasn't gone, tits up, and then we head on next little adventure here.
Things
So are
were
you saying
definitely,
skip the fort? And
Oh
the
no,
stolen
I
bell?
Is this an either or situation, or is this a?
Yeah,
I think one then the other. It's really like, do you want to
Yeah.
do one then the other? Do you want to do one first, one second, or do you want to skip one, skip both? It's basically what do you guys want to do? You're closer to the recovering the bell thing because that's literally just
Is it?
over the mountain from Threshold. The other
Okay.
one is crossing half of Karamakos to get to before you guys go back to your boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not in.
So yeah, we'll probably do the thing we were headed towards.
Yep.
Continue our path the way we were headed.
Okay.
But we're probably gonna check on our home afterwards because
Yeah.
we just realized this is fucking
Sorry, that makes a lot more
Who
sense.
knows?
Yeah. Definitely.
Who knows?
In agreement.
All right. Excellent. Let's make sure we got this going. So we got ourselves Blarth, fighter extraordinaire, slayer of undead, teller of jokes.
Teller of
Oh
jokes.
yeah.
The jokes.
Proud about these shitty jokes. I miss them.
he's
I
got
miss
the
him
yolk.
dearly.
Specifically, stinky jokes because they're all about fish.
Oh.
He's going for that. He has a theme that he wants. I don't know if he's gotten there yet, but he's working on it.
He might have found
Material.
his
He's working
audience.
working on his set still. And then we have brother Linus, who whines a lot. I think he isn't sure what he wants to be yet.
He's figuring out life still. He's young.
Yeah, I think what it is like he's uncomfortable being like the cleric who's gotta like eventually like have like a temple and like have to oversee it and an altar to have to maintain. I'm thinking like at some point he's like, I'm gonna be just a druid and go live out in the woods.
Yeah.
He hasn't admitted that to himself yet.
I do have a follower.
Oh shit.
I
think you left her in Threshold. Or no, you left her at the farm.
Yeah, at the farm.
Yeah, she's been at the
That's
farm
right.
the entire time you guys were out on the Isle of Dread. She was at the farm basically being the official cleric. So she's been converting the hobgoblins
That's
slowly
right.
but surely to the worship
Yeah,
of
that's right. That's why I left her.
Oh my god, what is going on over there?
Dogs and cats living together.
The freaking hobgoblins are like, oh, Domine. like what the?
Deus Volt.
Beautiful singing voice. Holy shit.
Or maybe it's more of a bring out your dead,
Yeah.
like more like
My babies.
No,
I'm not
Religion,
dead
no.
yet.
No.
They've fallen for religion.
Well, that's just shaking his crowned head. Just
while Little S continues to eat your guys' food and hang out in a backpack.
I actively try and make sure Little S has enough food, so hopefully he's not being scampy about it. But
No. It's just you enable him in a way. He doesn't have to be scampy about it. Dude never has to steal food. He just always has food.
Oh yeah, and I think that was one of my character traits of sorts. I've been bribing Lil S the entire time trying to get on his good side.
Like he never has to go looking for food.
He always gets a fish off the catch.
Yep.
He just has food. Even if we're not catching food, he just has food there.
Where would you get that?
Exactly.
Cake?
Blarth is 100% sure Little S likes him because he clearly likes Blarth's jokes. So that's an obvious. Clearly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that tracks that Blarth would be convinced of that.
Yep. Specifically.
Linus doesn't trust him. Probably never will. But
fine, one of these days, Little S is gonna save you, and then you're gonna eat those words.
yeah. And honestly, like he'll probably end up as one of our frontline fighters eventually. Dude was tanky, if I remember correctly.
He's a cannonball. It is my little cannonball.
Dude is dense as a fucking neutron star.
Mm-hmm.
Has the most HP in the party, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does. Mama's little. That's why he's such a good eater.
Just constantly
It's already
consuming
so
calories.
salty.
Like 3 Asiagos worth of health.
Dude, straight out.
3 sandwich over here.
He was in like the high 40s or something, I think. It was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, because he's a level 5 goblin, and she both rolled well, and he has a con modifier, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he does.
Oh, dude, he's gotten like killing blows on some of the nastiest.
He's stolen
I'm pretty sure
number of kills from Brother Linus. That number is more than it probably should be.
it was a baby black dragon, right? That he got the killing blow on.
Yeah, it was the dragon. He's a fucking dragon slayer. I forgot about that. Oh shit.
His title is going to be very long by the time he's ready to leave the sack.
Settle down. Oh my god.
What do you mean he's gonna live with me for forever?
Forever and ever.
Are you looking down his little S and just going, "You're already retired. You don't gotta go nowhere."
I am your house.
He's my precious
I
baby.
am your house.
None of you have a matronly bone in your body, so I understand how you don't get this. But he's just gonna be my happy little guy.
Not trying to delay here too much, but I am curious about that. If little S is your pet and you're an elf,
Not a pet.
okay, child,
yes,
and
you did.
How
steal
long
him?
does the elf live in comparison to
He was
the
offered.
goblin?
Look, it's the equivalent of a human being who owns rats as pets. They're loving, they're really smart, but you have to understand, you're probably only going to have them for like 24 months.
Oh, this isn't the first little S I've had.
That all of a sudden makes so much more sense. Everything is connected.
Right? There's a story we're missing here, but the bits and pieces we have, oh buddy.
Not even really little S. That's actually just a typo. It's little 5.
There was a little R and a little Q.
God, little
and a little P.
It's been down the list for a minute. Oh no.
LMNO was just one goblin, but he was really big.
Had 2 heads.
Jesus.
Anyway, sorry. I'm still cooking this frozen pizza, so I figure.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I expect this pizza to be done in about 6 minutes. So, and I will be good to go. Although I'm pretty sure unless we go directly into combat or something, we could probably at least start.
Yeah, no, I'm pulling up some
cool.
Some of the maps here.
Well, if we're not waiting on me, then we could talk more.
More
real talk about our group.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in
I've been enjoying the recap.
The year and a half or so of now playing D&D, probably like 2 years. We've only actually had we've been off this one for like 6 months, I think. I think October was our last actual session in this one.
Yeah, October 2021. So
Oh yeah, no. God, yeah, no, it has been that long.
Wait,
Year and a
wait,
half.
did
It,
you
Year and a
say
it
half.
has been a minute.
Not
did you
20,
say
no.
October 20 is when we
2021. October 2021. It was a year and a
October
half ago.
20
God damn,
is
it was.
the day
Holy
we
shit.
got married.
Well, it wasn't October 20th. It was October 1st of 2021.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
there we
Yeah.
go.
So
I
yeah,
guess
it has
it
been
has been
a.
that fucking long. Holy shit,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
We're just old.
Now I
Maybe
realize
we're
why I
gonna
forgot
get
all
to
this
you.
shit. Like I'm
No,
like,
this-
my memory's bad, but Jesus, I forgot
this
a
was
lot
my
of
bad.
Oh.
I drug my
Oh.
feet, got a little depressed, and then let it get out of hand. That's what happened here.
But no, I was
alright,
gonna say in yeah, I guess a year and a half. So I guess that what first was right. We've learned to derail games like no other.
Nobody's business.
I don't police
We
it
have-
at all.
we
I
have
am the
emotes.
worst parent.
We have actual emotes for it.
Yep. And it's inevitable. At least half an hour, probably more every session.
I am the worst DM parent. I'm sorry. I failed you.
We just suck.
That's just gaming, man. Like,
Yeah,
that,
Yeah,
that's
no, it
what
really
happens.
is.
Where's the mitt?
half the fun of it, really.
It's a requirement. It's like swimming. You don't stay down the entire time. You got to come up for air. Look around, go back down.
What?
When I am solely
How
responsible
do you
for
swim? That's a.
derail, though,
I don't.
that always hurts. It's like, no, I didn't
walk
want
along
this.
the bottom at
I
all
walk
times. Don't you?
Yeah.
That's how you
Alright.
swim, right? It becomes kind of a problem if you go to the deep end because it takes a while to walk your way back out. But yeah,
I want you guys to know, like, how
Mhm.
serious the people who play this particular old D&D, like, how hardcore they get. Here's a collaborative production of the particular part of the country you're in at 1 mile per hex.
no shit.
Oh my fucking god.
Holy god! What?
Zoom in on that shit. Whee!
This is not even all the country. This is just 1/3
Yeah,
slice
it's
through.
just a slice.
Holy shit!
There's a lot more of Black Fame Valley up there in the upper left corner. Oh,
What
my
the fuck? Bro.
I love fucking elevation numbers throughout too.
Right?
Oh yeah, like they actually figured out where like the
Jesus.
ridge lines were and where the actual like peaks
Oh.
are. You know, because they take this shit seriously.
Oh my goodness, great.
This was a serious game for serious gamers.
No, this is just these are old school people who
Yeah.
like they pick up the hobby as like, well, I decided to take up cartography.
I found a location.
And then I got bored. If you zoom in, you'll notice the hexes don't look quite line up properly because these are individually copied and pasted in.
What?
Yeah,
Go look, zoom in.
Yeah, they totally are. Oh my god.
yeah. There's like some
Somebody
like
did
off
this.
cropping. Yeah, like
Somebody did this. They put it together.
it's like thinner at some points. Oh my goodness.
They took
shit.
a freaking sticker stamp and went hex by hex. Wow.
God.
I'm genuinely impressed. This is a lot of work. This is a ton of effort put into this thing.
I love like broken lines in like certain places and shit too. It adds it has a certain charm to it. That's crazy. I love there's the place up in the like very center of the very top, original lake.
Original.
Hell yeah. OG lake. Hype.
Like OG.
Yep.
This is impressive. I
Yeah.
gotta say.
Blow us up.
Like I don't actually agree with like here's let me restate this. I don't actually agree with all the cartography choices in this map. I belong to a slightly different camp
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the geography.
I just want to point out they've drawn owl bears in the top left area. No wait, yeah. Right,
There's also beholders in certain sections too. They show major monster layers for important things.
wow.
They have the hex where it's like, oh yeah, it's known that there's a hive here or a nesting pair or something like that. You can also do wandering monsters, but they're like, yeah, these were mentioned specifically in places, so let me put them in. If you go around and look, the beholders have names.
What are the names?
One of them is Zeteka, Persquipek, and Zantaki.
That's Teka. Okay.
Pasquobek.
I dig it.
Quebec? Ah, that's fucking.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, if you you can get to it by if you find Lake Windrush, which is where Threshold's at. You just kind of north of it. They're a little off to the right. The beholders up in the mountains. But you guys are leaving Threshold, and you're taking you're getting a you're probably going up to the lake
There they are.
using the bridges and the ford to get across, and then you're taking the trail that runs along the other side of the river, so that you can follow along going south, and then you're going to go underneath the mountains and cross over the hills into like the next valley over, because that's the direction that it was the thief was known to have taken. And they had a lead on where the location is.
Can stop off and have tea with the
My feet are
beholders.
getting cold, so I'm gonna go upstairs.
Yeah, I'll be up there as soon as I can. It's taking a little longer than I wanted it to.
100 years later. It just smells like gas, though.
Does it?
To me, it does.
That's not good.
Maybe not all the burners are lit.
Yeah, if you're smelling gas, that's not a good sign.
I do not smell gas. I'm like
That's
right
just
up on it.
the pocket we keep in the corner.
Just use the torch.
Gas.
Use the torch.
The torch is going to be 1,000,000 times more efficient. And it's the same thing.
I've been convinced, I suppose.
I mean, you can keep fuddling with the broiler if you really want to.
No. I like the gas range, but I want an electric oven.
Induction.
Real talk.
Induction.
Oh, no,
With
the broiler.
with like a granite countertop with induction heaters embedded inside it, underneath it, so it just looks like a normal granite counter.
There you go.
Oh, no, fuck that.
Oh, it's
I've seen-
amazing because they don't
I've
get
seen
hot.
them. I've seen
They're
them.
amazing.
Oh, man. That's
shut the
just
pot
asking. That's asking to, like, someone turns it on, someone else comes in the kitchen and goes, like, what's up? Puts their hand on the counter.
Nothing
Fucking
happens
fuck.
because it doesn't get hot.
Has
Because
it?
it's induction, so it uses magnetics. So unless they have like metal plates in their hand, it's not going to get hot.
But the pot will. So
pot
we
will.
like putting a pot on the table, just leave it there. All of a sudden, it starts fucking boiling.
I'll
What
give you.
shit?
Don't put your cell phone on top of an induction heater, because that's not going to end well.
Yeah, your countertop melted my cell phone.
Unless you have one
Well,
of those,
your
like,
your cell phone will stop working well before it melts from the magnetic field.
you got one of those, like, old Motorola's, though. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
That
that's
thing
true.
whips
That's
through anything.
true.
That's about it, though. None of this new shit.
It's actually how they harden those phones.
Yeah.
Put them through an induction process.
It just makes it stronger.
Damn, this smells
Now it's
good.
heat-resistant plating because it's been tested. What?
And I overcooked the outside of it, but not the inside of it, because I stacked more toppings on it.
Axe.
The
Oh,
first
but
big
He
bite's
just
gonna
sort
be
of trails
great.
off as he's talking about it.
We'll say, we do have Little S, and of course, Little S is kind of the our best buddy right now. But we do got a mule named Dudley as well, who has been my side companion.
True.
Good old Dudley.
Didn't you guys have like 2 or 3 mules, or was it just the one mule?
I've had Dudley for a while. I think we did potentially pick up other ones.
I
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
other people had gotten a mule or two.
I feel like I did. But it's escaping me because I have a donkey in Mana's game named Don Key.
It would be on your
uh,
character sheet, and eventually the second part. That's where it would be.
That
listed.
is what I would like to check.
It's
I'm
your
still
Google Doc.
downstairs.
Ah, okay.
That being said, I'm plating myself, so I'll be up there on a plate apparently.
Oh, that's right. You guys had a wilderness scout who is comfortable knowing the edges of the Wolfwood Hills and will able to lead you there.
Ooh,
Right.
we did something right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You get hired Helga, a fur trapper. She was helping you guys out.
All right.
Yeah,
Heading.
so you guys are heading out into the Wolfwood Hills. That was what was going on. Which are to give you an idea of what we're talking about here is this is like the Dartmouth Moor in England. So high hills, no real trees.
I forgot about. I'm a llama. I'm a llama of Zurchev. Here's a llama. There's a llama. Llama.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Llama face.
That's my title. A llama of Zurchev.
God.
Yeah, I actually decided to take the titles out. Like they didn't add enough to me. Like they were fun, but
Yeah, exactly. I found them amusing. It's like what?
No, I'm keeping mine. I'm still the swashbuckler enchantress.
Swash
worked hard for that shit.
buckler.
Myrmidon Warlock, and I opened it up and I'm like, am I a warlock? What did I class shift? No, it's just the fucking title, but it threw me off initially.
yeah. So these are the hills that you guys are traveling over. This is what they
Nice.
look like.
Yeah.
You've left behind the forests and the actual like high mountainous peaks near Threshold, and you're going through these hills, these rolling hills. Not a lot of trees. It's a lot of like heath and like grasses and little small wildflowers.
So suddenly we're in Scotland.
This is not Scotland. This is actually in southern England. This is Dartmoor.
Oh really? Oh wow.
Yeah, this is in Cornwall.
All
These are
right.
the moors.
I'll
This
stop
is where the
by and
hound.
get the pasties.
This is where the Hound of the Baskervilles took place in the stories.
Oh cool.
But you'll also, the whole thing about this is you're traveling through, you come across shit like that, where it's like those rocks look like,
Something happened.
yeah, somebody placed those. So the whole region is just filled with these. You walk by and you're like, yeah, somebody had something there time ago. Or off in the distance, you'll see these like pools, and there'll be like weird standing stones sticking up out of them. Every mile or two, you'll see something like that in the distance. The whole area is just filled with these sorts of things. Helga seems to take it in stride, doesn't really seem to pay attention to it.
Have we heard of anything about this area? Those of us that like lived in this vicinity or lived in like Threshold?
I mean, there's scattered farms out here, so there is people who live out here, but most folks who live out here also know they have to deal with goblins. Goblins are a big problem out here on the moors. Goblins, wolves, and also territorial centaurs. The centaurs you'll always see coming. They have big villages that they move around. They're a nomadic people that dwell here on the moors. Goblins dwell in like the little caves and nooks and crannies and come out at night to like steal shit from you or kill you in your sleep. And the wolf packs are just hungry because the farmers got rid of a lot of the shepherds and things like that have pushed out a lot of the native deer and things like that, and then are protecting their flock from the wolves. So wolves are always just a little hungry out here on the moors.
So they might be a little more likely to take a desperate attack. Okay.
Exactly, and that's this area used to be slightly more civilized, but it wasn't even the fault of the Phaeacians when they invaded and took over the country. More than 150 years ago, 200 years ago, this was the center of like 3 or 4 of the major little dukedoms or mini kingdoms that Karamakos had that were like at the tail end of the warring period with all the different states before they sort of consolidated up. And this area kind of got depopulated with all the fighting.
So
A lot of people got driven out. So this area used to have a lot more people living in it, and it hasn't for like 150 years. It used to probably be 10 or 20 times more people living in this area.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of ruined farmyards. A lot of the stones you see are less like ancient ruins and more like, no, that was just somebody's stone foundations from 150 or 100 years ago.
Okay.
Like that used to be a farmyard or a barn. And it's just all you're looking at are the rocks in the ground left over, because the earthen or the heaped sod that they used as their walls has long since washed away since no one's maintaining it.
So that hole in the ground there could have been someone's, short cellar or something.
Yeah, or it could be something from hundreds and hundreds or 1,000 years ago. That's the issue out here in these hills. It's really hard to say. Not enough scholars spend any time out here to really give a good answer because it's kind of dangerous.
That makes sense. I mean, Linus is of the curious sort, and if we ever stop near any of these for like an evening, or a day's rest or whatever, he'll spend some time kind of poking around them.
So occasionally, like in the distance, you'll pass by some hills. To the south, you had recently, in the last day or two, crossed by the area that led towards Highforge, where the gnomes and the dwarves have their underground cities and forges. So you know that there was more civilization off that direction. That just the dwarves and gnomes don't really spend a lot of time on the surface, so there's not a lot of presence. Like there might be some gnome or dwarf caverns beneath you, but they don't come up very often. But to the north, along a lot of these kind of weird exposed cliff faces, occasionally you'll see lights at times, like at night. Maybe like small cook fires, nothing big, but like in places where you're like, how would someone get up there?
Oh, cut out?
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Yeah, like you'd be like, how would someone get up there with? You just see like these random campfires, but like out across the valley when you're making camp for the night, you're like, oh, someone's probably cooking something. But like in the morning, you're like, that was a really awkward place to be cooking something at, up on this like ear cliff face of that broken stone rock face. Unless there was like a cave entrance and you were seeing the light coming out of it.
Okay.
Are any of them close enough to quickly scrabble up, just to take a quick
No,
peek?
these aren't quick. This would be like you'd have to take a day out of your way and go travel across the valley to get to it. And so you're like, nah, we'll skip that.
Yeah, that's too much time.
You do reach a point where there we are. She's gonna have you leave the trail. You were gonna say?
Oh yeah, no. Go for it. Never mind.
Yeah, she was gonna have you. Helga was like, yeah, we'll need to leave the trail here. It's out more into the actual the low-line moors itself, rather than away from the hills and the mountains here. So we're gonna have to cut kind of due east out across. There's a swampy area, kind of little boggy, where it flattens out, and there's some slightly higher hills in front of it to the south, and only a few passageways of the water can get out. So it kind of gets a little boggy for a couple of miles. Watch yourself. Goblins like to live in the tree stumps and the little hollows and the stacks of rocks. And so there's at least a couple of different goblin tribes that live in the area. I don't even know what they call themselves, but I know I've seen them. It's why we always like to keep nice bonfires at night to keep the goblins away. And the goblins love this bog. We they might have some sort of hold or something out there in the bog, because we've definitely seen them retreat back into it. And it's just not worth following out into the bog. There's nothing worth hunting out there. No products worth it, and you might slip into some some peat bog or something and catch yourself and drown. No one wants to do that. But we're gonna skirt the edge of this bog. It's a trail that is a game trail, might also be a goblin trail that they use to go through the wilderness, but it's going to take us about 2 miles of cross-country walking till we can even get to it. And then we're going to follow it mostly eastish out towards where I think the compound is, where the folks who stole the stuff ran off to. Because it'd be the only thing out in that direction that they could get to, unless, goblins hit them along the way.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so you guys end up crossing over that, and then it's getting late. So here in one of the little cusp of trees on a relative high point, You can see off to your east and south the boggy flatland where it sort of like it literally bottoms out and just becomes like this real flat and kind of like scattered. It doesn't really look wet, but like when you get a little close to the edge, you're like, oh yeah, those are like vernal pools all over the place. And it's not really solid ground for miles in that direction. It's just this flat morose of vegetation on top of like this mix of muddy water.
Fun. I take it takes a little longer to travel through that.
Yeah, you guys are not. You're going to travel along the edge of it, but like basically, you guys are going to be skirting the northern edge of this site, and this is the spot where you're going to camp for the night. During the night, Helga has you guys set up a nice big bonfire and definitely keep watches. And during the night, she'll even point out across the bog. You can see some glints of light, and she's like, "Those are either will-o-wisps or it's goblins with small torches trying to." Lure one of us out. She'll point out across the bog, and you can see him in the distance, like a mile out, like little dancing lights moving along, like small paths out across the distant flat boggy plain.
Crafty little ones. Should we go say hi?
You know, it does look like fun over there.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to deal with goblins or will-o-wisps in the middle of a swamp at night.
I suppose it's probably for the best.
Sounds delightful.
Does little S look excited at all?
No, like honestly, other goblins aren't really excited little S. Like that's
because they're competition.
Yeah, like they might have to get fed too. And I hope you understand why that's a potential problem. Yeah.
He's looking for his next crown.
Yeah. Yeah, there's easily 100 feet difference between the hilltop you guys are on and like the actual flat part of the bog, but that flat part of the bog remains that same height for like miles. Because it's just this giant flat center of a valley that has water that seeps in on one side in the form of a couple of creeks, and the creeks kind of spread out so they're no longer recognizably creeks, but then creeks flow out the far end. So it's just this giant morass that may have been a lake or a pond at one point, but it's completely silted over now. And it just slowly percolates the water. Misery out there. Especially when it's, springtime and it's this cold. I wouldn't want to be trudging through that. And then, mid-morning, as she's trudging you guys up through an area.
A lot of trudging.
A lot of trudging. It's trudging work, man, here in the moors. It's just a lot of, like, picking your route carefully. Because while the moorland's relatively flat, it's not flat in any given, like, 20 feet area. It's just flat over, like, a mile. Like, does that make sense to you? Like, it's a lot of up and down, but it's not a lot of up and down. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta go 10 feet down, and then 10 feet up, and then 5 feet down, and then 5 feet up.
Oh god.
And by the end of it, you haven't actually changed any elevation, but
feels like you've been walking.
It feels like it. Yeah, you've done a lot of up and down walking, but like overall the landscape's flat. It's just not in like when you zoom in, it's pretty rocky and hilly. Also, it means that there's no good heights to see like long distances from, because like the heights are almost the same height as all the other heights nearby. So it's very flat from hilltop to hilltop, and when you go down even like 5 feet, you might all of a sudden not be able to see in any direction other than like the 20, 30 feet around you.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, mid-morning, you come across like a rocky outcropping that looks like somebody had like tried to fortify up, pushed up rocks, but there's a lot of burnt scorch marks, and you can find a lot of bones, and you can see that it looks like it was a goblin tribe that had lived here, and somebody burnt them out, knocked over their fortification, and like left all the goblin bodies all over the ground everywhere.
Oh, lovely.
It's rude.
But only goblin bodies. You don't find anything else.
Must have been some adventurers that came through here.
Should we bring little S with us?
What's the smell like? Is it just like, oh goddamn? Should they could have just buried the bodies at least? No,
like the bodies. This was probably last fall.
Oh, okay.
Oh, That's
It
like things
becomes
have
pretty
eaten the
aggressive.
bodies, bones are moved around. Yeah.
doesn't even smell like
Things like pretty pigs
rotting
clean.
anymore.
Yes.
It's just stale.
No, it's just stale. Like things have eaten the it's just the bones everywhere. You guys have seen enough goblin bones to recognize goblin bones.
Smell death.
Yeah, and then it's a couple more hours moving along, following this trail. You're probably about midday and about like 5 miles from where you started from. Um, the trail ends up crisscrossing about a mile's worth of the bog because it continues up along a stream. So the easiest way to go is to cross it rather than go all the way around it. And she points and she says, "You see that rocky outcropping in the middle there? That's probably something's living there. Might be goblins, might be something else, could just be wild animals, but it's too convenient of a spot. Something's probably going to be living on it, so keep your eyes open as we approach."
We have to go buy this.
Yeah.
Alright.
Noted. Those,
And, yeah, you guys start crossing the, very carefully, picking your way. It's midday, so you guys have great visibility. And when you approach this, like, this hill it's hardly even a hill, but there's a bunch of rocks that are piled that are suspicious in how regular they're spaced kind of around it. And you get a little closer and you see, oh yeah, those are kind of like platforms where someone's piled some like rocks that are like a foot or two across in front to be like blocks so that you could stand behind it and shoot arrows and still have rocks between you and what you're shooting at. That's what it looks like. And you also definitely get the feeling you're being watched.
Can we go around this in any way?
You're going to pass right next to it because you're on a trail that's relatively good ground. This is basically the commanding point here in the area, and it goes right by this hillock because that happened to be the high ground. You're going to cross over. It looks like somebody laid some like 5-foot rocks that kind of lean against each other. So a 5-foot long boulder leans against a 5-foot long boulder on the other side, and it forms this like archway over a stream that crosses the area where the water's sort of flowing. That's why this area is more solid ground and not the marshy bog that it is everywhere else around it. And you kind of got real close to the base of it. And those of you who are coming up on it, everyone can roll a 2d6 plus your wisdom. If you're an elf, you get an extra +2.
Is there any way, before we get too close, is there any way that we could go up there where those stones are?
Oh yeah, you can just climb up. It's not a castle wall. It's a hill with some piles of rocks that look strategically placed where if you wanted to stand and shoot at someone from a distance with arrows, if they're shooting back at you, you have some rocky cover. However, it's not a castle wall. It's not vertical. It's a hillside. You can climb up to it. You can't walk up it. You'll have to actually climb, but you can climb up to it. You have no fear that you'd be able to climb it.
I forget
There's
how
no
we do the
thief skill
prompting
needed.
here.
roll? Exclamation roll, or is it just now just the actual roll? Like,
Oh, it's that dice parser bot that we got. There's
It should?
Nope.
There's a slash.
It was 2d6 back in the day. Maybe the bot's asleep?
Shit.
Slash R.
Oh, /R? Okay.
Slash R.
Oh, shit. Okay, it actually has, like, pop-ups now.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Ah!
Yeah, okay.
So
Slash
many things.
R space 2d6, and then you can do more complicated things with, like, this is the parser that Gabe found for us right before this
Yeah.
time.
What do we add to this again?
Our wisdom.
Yeah.
Which I have none.
Wisdom.
2d6
And then an extra +2 if you're an elf.
And then elf. Which,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, there we go.
In Illinois. Hell yeah.
I mean, it's a 7.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all you need was a 7. This wasn't hard, but you could roll low and not see it at all. And then once it gets a 7, you realize, yeah, there's definitely some figures kind of hiding. Nothing standing upright, but like there's definitely shadow areas. And you're like, yeah, I think there's some little guys up in there.
What about
if
the 11 that I got?
Okay, so anyone who got a 9 or better, which would include you, yeah, those definitely look like goblins. You think there's maybe a dozen of them in various nooks and crannies across the hill. The nearest one to you is about 100 feet away. The furthest one is like 300 feet away, and they're basically all over the hill. So this is you as you're approaching. You're about 100 feet away. You're pretty sure one of those figures is near some piled rocks next to the nearest little rocky outcropping that you noticed. They haven't made any motions, but they're definitely watching you.
Do any of us speak Goblin?
Yeah, I think it.
Yeah,
I
I speak Hobgoblin.
I speak versions
That's
of Goblin
right.
and Hobgoblin.
Yeah, and we use
can tell
Hobgoblin
jokes.
as like an intimidation tactic, as like the
Yeah,
kind of
it's the authoritarian. Yeah. There's goblins up there. We should maybe shout at them in Goblin, let them know to fuck off. I really don't want to fight right now. My boots are wet.
Can't be. Your boots are wet. How'd that happen?
The ground is a little marshy back there. I thought I had soft footing or strong footing. It turned out soft.
Well, I suppose we could holler out at them. Asiago, dear. You have a much grander bravado than I do. If you'd be so kind as to instruct them to, I don't know, show face lest things get complicated. Does something like that sound appropriate, Brother Linus?
Wonderful.
Oh boy.
Larth, do you think so? Just give a little holler. You ready?
I mean, if you're ready to give a holler,
I want to make
I
sure
can get
you're
a
all
joke.
ready.
we got a joke ready for you if you like.
All right.
Goblin joke?
You know what? I'll give you this
Let's
one.
just kick it off with a joke that does sound ever so delightful. Right, Blythe.
I'll give you an opportunity here. Impress me, Blarth. What you got?
Well, what's a beholder's favorite food?
What's that?
Ice cream.
Don't get it.
Because like beholder's a big eyeball, right? And then he's got a bunch of little eyeballs all over the place. And so ice cream is his favorite. Because his eyes, a bunch of them.
This isn't so much intimidating, but it might draw him out anyway. We'll give it a shot.
Over.
Oh.
So I guess
Hold
you're
on.
the one who has to deliver the joke, though. So
In Goblin. Yeah.
in Goblin.
Yeah, no. In Hobgoblin.
In
So this is
Hobgoblin,
in
no.
Hobgoblin.
All right, so you're gonna roll 2d6.
Yes.
You're gonna add your charisma modifier.
Oh no.
I'm gonna give you a +2 because you actually have a joke.
Mm.
It's not a good joke, but it's a joke.
It's a black joke.
I'm gonna give you, because you're trying to intimidate them, a +1 because you're talking in Hobgoblin.
Okay.
Mm.
Tell a joke, but we're real pissed off about it.
I don't know how to have an intimidating joke. I'm gonna have to work on that.
It's like your drill sergeant telling you a joke. You're like, what?
Alright.
Huh? Ha 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 ha.
It's like Bill Burr. It's basically Bill Burr yelling at the crowd.
Alright. I'll do this in the right place. So I'm rolling this in combat and other rolls. It looks like just exclamation R to do it.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, no, that's the one that. Okay, no. It is.
Oh, no, it's slash R.
I do have a better joke for you.
D6. Oh boy. Okay. Oof. I mean,
might be a little bit
you
more
actually
intimidating.
had a decent one there, but if you want to take a second step at the plate.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because it might be more intimidating.
Oh,
I guess.
Blarth, alright.
Alright, I'm sorry, but
Believe in yourself.
alright.
What do you got?
Why do wizards like fireball so much?
Why?
Because it's a well-rounded spell. Because it's a circle.
I approve.
I mean, we
That
do
way
have fireball.
They know that we have it, and we're also being friendly, but like also intimidating. Yeah, I think it works.
All right.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. What if Eleonora?
Oh god damn it!
No. Hear me out. We tell the joke, and we have Eleonora make a little flame with her hands, just as an indication that there might be a fireball.
I mean,
for them.
I could do so as well, I suppose. I mean, I got fireball as well.
Either of you.
I mean, 2 fireballs is even better.
Ooh,
I got
do
a
like the idea
fireball
of
joke,
fireballs.
so I feel pretty
They
good
might
about
think
this.
we could just do a full fireball, and then they'll think, oh, but they used the first fireball, and then if they're feeling cocky, they'll then come, but then we'll have a second fireball waiting for them.
I
Oh, very so
know.
I don't want to light up the guys if we don't really need to, honestly. Just try
But,
to get
like,
them out of the fucking area. Stop
Have
bothering
you ever
them.
seen anything be like, oh, I'm ready for fireball number 2?
I mean, no one's ready for fireball number 1, really.
That's what I'm saying. I think we'll be okay.
All right.
I mean, well, do we really want to waste a spell?
We don't. No, we
I
just
think-
want to
I think-
we just want to give them a joke and get them out of the fucking area. That's all we want to do right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to use a spell.
So just make a little fire with your hands.
Give
You
a
can do
joke.
that, right?
All right. Are we still doing a 2d6? Let's see what this is. After that
Yes.
fucking side conversation, thank you.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Beautiful.
There was some.
Jeez, 8. It's all right, I guess.
Yeah, it's the middle of the fight.
Yeah, you see a lot of the heads duck down. Like it looks like they're pulling back. You're not sure why they're pulling back, but there's definitely pullback. The goblins are leaving your line of sight.
I think it worked.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, we should still keep a lookout. Maybe there's some. I don't know. Your first joke, I think, was better there, Blar. But that's all right. That's all right. We'll go. We'll get him next
You
time.
know,
Fireball one.
They've all gone to put on their red tunics so they can take the fire damage.
Yeah, we get
I
more.
mean, if they all left, it's a
You know-
well-rounded spell.
You know what? 8. I'll give you credit for that. All right. Anyway, let's keep moving. Suppose clears out the way. And honestly, it's not like have the most stealthy ability. I know I'm loud shit in this playmail.
Me too, dude. We're both just fucking.
Yeah, our presence has been made clear. No worries.
Yep.
Stealth it. No.
Yeah. Creep, clang, trip,
Clang.
thud, bang, 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 bang.
You can practically hear Brother Linus's boots from over yonder.
Now they sound squishy, so.
God damn.
How
I
are your
suffer
boots
from
so loud? I
Chronic
don't get
joke
it.
telling, so stealth is difficult.
Yeah, these things happen.
You just can't help it. All right.
All right, so
Yes.
the goblins backed away, and then you guys just kind of passed by, unmolested.
Right.
That's all you really wanted to do.
No need to waste good swings on little goblin folk.
Exactly.
And I mean, we don't know how many of them there are. They could have just pincushioned us.
Yeah, could have been. Could have been a problem.
Yeah,
We have 2 fireballs, I'm not worried.
we do have 2 fireballs. They have a lot of goblins, though. Like, how many goblins can you fit per fireball? They might have more.
You guys have more than that. You guys have 2 level 6 casters. They each have 2 fireballs, don't they?
It was supposed
Oh,
to be
shit,
a
you're not
surprise,
wrong.
Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asiago's level 6.
Andy, that was
and
supposed to be a
Eleonora's
surprise.
level 6. The fighters weren't supposed to know about the second
Guys, we're
fireball.
supposed to know about the double, like the
Why
fact
did
that
you
it's
use on
double.
them? No.
Fireball, 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 fireball.
Fireball?
I'll never have to fight again.
I was like, oh god, I made all 4 of those saves, so I take more hit points than I have.
Oh, well, shit.
Wow. Oh, okay.
GG.
Half damage from 24d6 is more hit points.
It's still a lot of damage. More than half of anything I could take.
Yeah, it's like 42 points of
Yeah.
damage on average. If you made all your saves.
If you made all your saves.
It's a lot of nuts.
Well,
Little less would be okay.
I mean, always. Maybe.
I mean, I will say I am a little curious, and I know we've stopped already. And maybe like been able to kind of investigate the area, as far as like some of these seemingly created kind of, rock formations and such in these
Yeah.
areas. Is there like any ability to like gain some like are there some obvious patterns or like an aging maybe to the things being used to where it's like clearly from like
This is super recent.
or there's just seemingly like this use of like I don't know.
You're not impressed by the rock stacking architecture here.
We're also not dwarves.
Yeah, you're not, but like humans
Frickin'
and elves still know how to
Zelda.
make buildings with stone.
Right.
None of these rocks look especially big. The rocks that are stacked on top of each other clearly are being stacked by people who can't lift the big ones. They're also not being cut and shaped and like locked in place. There's no so in addition to not using mortar, they're also not taking that great a care to like carefully stack the rocks on top of one another to make sure it's a good solid platform. So you're not terribly impressed. You're also not seeing like the moss grow patterns. Don't look like this is centuries old. So you think this is maybe decades tops,
Ooh.
might even be younger.
All right.
Now there might be older things in the hill, but like all the new stuff that are visible that you can see looks significantly younger. So it's entirely possible this is just goblins in the last couple of years putting this together. Mainly because no
Hey, little
one's living in
guys.
this particular area.
Yeah.
So they get to feel free to like build open air structures.
Makes sense.
Clever
Good
little
for them.
fellows.
Yeah.
Proud of your open-mindedness, Linus.
They could be, our
Oh.
new allies.
It keeps them away from civilized folk.
Mm.
So once you're past this, and
One step
I mean,
forward, 2 steps back.
and you guys have crossed over and you're now back up on the moors away from the bog. Helga says the path here it splits. We can go north and go through the hills around the upcoming woods because there's a couple of miles with a forest. And while both these trails clearly are goblin used, she says she would rather take the northern route and deal with goblins out in the open than go through a fairly wooded section where there's actually some dells with, serious tree growth in between the little rocky outcroppings. She doesn't want to deal with goblins in the middle of like dense, like overgrown woods.
Makes sense. I wouldn't want to either.
I can appreciate the caution. Absolutely.
But she leaves it up to you guys to decide, north or through the woods.
I would like to deliver to her some sort of like cheesy superhero line, something along the lines of like, "But I would be here to protect you, my dear."
Oh.
But I'll defer to the remainder of my party.
I mean, if Eleanor gonna step in, I mean, maybe we cut a little time out and really cut through. Eleanor's so confident.
Yeah.
That's
No
enough for me.
objections. I know Eleanor is capable.
But I really don't mind.
Yeah, so the map of the section is on the 1 mile per hex, literally, so you guys can see pretty decent. The little hillock is the one labeled Nightwalkers. That's the goblin tribe that holds that little place. You guys are just past it to the east, where the trail is splitting. You can either go north, up along the hill line, or you can go east out into the woods.
I'm just a little worried for our human friends. They don't live very long lives, and this is taking quite a bit.
So while Eleanor is talking, like little S is like eating a dried fish, like looking at you guys.
He knows something. See,
Wait.
I mean, all right. I mean, I'm honestly, I'm kind of fine with either one.
We could defer to the humans. I'm perfectly fine with that.
well, we're not exactly on a time crunch, but you know, I can tell Eleanor's itching to blow something up, so we can go the shorter route.
Itching, I would never. Just curiosity.
Sure, I want to see it.
We might make some friends along the way.
Yeah.
Friends.
Another acolyte for your cause, perhaps, Brother Linus.
I'll
Another horde of hobgoblins.
turn to our guide, and I suppose I'll say something along the lines of like, it might not be your preferred route, but don't worry, we'll get through this just fine. You think you can still guide us the way?
Oh yeah, no, I've been this way. I just don't like it. I've seen goblins along the route through the woods before.
We could always convert them to the cause. I'm not sure what the Linus cause really is, but we've done it before, and I can't imagine that's a bad
farming
thing.
and ranching.
Well, if the goblins are willing to see the light and listen to the teachings of Zurchev, I suppose, you know, maybe there's a chance that they could be redeemed.
What he said.
I mean, simmer down. We might just run into some crocodiles. Not so easy to convert.
Ah, religious crocodiles. Yeah, makes sense.
Ooh, they could be pets.
Dude, this
Don't churches have gargoyles and other things that adorn their temples? We could have alligators. Doesn't that sound marvelous? They live a very long time too, you know. They make the perfect guard animals.
They're. I don't know about the perfect guard animals. I mean, I've seen them take a goddamn guy's arm off one more time than I'd like to see.
I still fail to see how that's not a perfect example of a specimen that you would want to have guarding you.
Again, you know,
not when they're your garden animal, though.
In
That's
the future.
I get it though. Those things live forever. So does things like Eleonora.
I mean, yeah, we have a lot longer lives than you. All right.
I suppose you might too. Looking over at him like, oh yeah, he's an elf. He's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I think I'm actually younger than. Actually, what? I'm actually not too sure what Eleanor's age is. I thought you were potentially older than me, but actually,
I dare not ask.
We settled this once. I'm 246. I think I am older than you.
No, you're just barely younger. I'm like 253.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys both, I think, decided to make characters that were
middling age.
Middle age, like actually had some experience under your belt, and not just like that starting elf who's finally allowed out at 100.
Like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Like you're finally trusted now that you're like the fact that you survived to 100 is when elves are like, yeah, we trust you as an adult. Now it's like, I've been an adult for 60 years. No. Now we trust you.
You've
now
had your
you can
naming
bring
ceremony.
more the napkins to the potluck dinner on Sundays.
They've been wet for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
I like that you teamed up with two young male adults.
Right?
I'm
Like
20.
teenagers.
You're like 17, right? I'm 20.
Linus just turned 17. He was 16.
That's
I
right.
can't tell what your ages mean. It's so short. You seem mature.
It's true. My jokes are legendary.
See? Age is but a number. Our number just happens to be very, very big.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
We're a weird group.
I love this croc, though.
Linus is all for this idea of converting the crocs.
But yeah, it seems like we're determined to maybe cut a little time out of this.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You guys cut into the woods. It's definitely much darker. Sunlight only filters
but
through.
some of us are able to see just fine? Or is that
Yeah,
not a thing?
no. The elves can see just fine.
Yeah.
The goblin can see just fine. The humans, your visibility is, though, it's basically twilight for you, for visibility. So you can see, no problem, 150 feet, up to 300 feet. It starts to get a little, like, there's not a lot of light to see out that far. So unless you're literally in one of the, like, small meadows, you guys can't see for super long distances. And then also, even for the elves, line of sight gets blocked off the trail because of the trees.
Oh, hold on. Let me look at Find Magic.
Cool news about this is I know the elves can see it first, and even if I can't see it, I can still hit it.
That's true.
Ah, Dark Vision doesn't exist as a spell yet in this edition.
No.
Damn.
I hate to go
Nice try, Darkness.
on a little bit of a tangent, but I'm very curious. I saw this before, and I've been using like halberds, pole arms for a while now.
Yeah.
But now I have a weapon, the Crescent Moon +1 of silencing. I could guess what the silencing means. Are there any other properties of that weapon that I should know about? Like Crescent Moon, it almost seems like it's like it glows or something like that, but I'm just curious.
Oh man, it's been a while since.
I
That was the
apologize. I
weapon-
make you dive in.
Yeah. I just got to look back up. When did you get that? That was off the in the Rakoska tomb that you got that.
That sounds pretty accurate.
That sounds correct.
I think it's fucking deadly.
It does so much damage from what I remember.
Yeah, I do a 1d12 +7 on my
Yeah.
damage
Fucking like one-shotting everything.
with a +7 attack bonus. So.
Yeah, I remember you can like one-shot yourself with that thing.
Yeah, that was it! I forgot about that.
Whoops! Oh shit! Oh.
I dropped it. Oh, it's everywhere. Oh god.
At fucking 18 max HP, absolutely. One shot from full health.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a character has dropped a weapon on their foot and died in this kind of system. I had a wizard way back in the day who had a negative con bonus, and I rolled a 1 on my HP. So he was sitting there with basically no survival. I rolled to throw a dagger because I was out of spells, and dropped it on my foot, killing myself.
Oh my god.
With a natural 1. Yep.
You know, it happens. I
happens.
guess.
Adventuring is not an easy life.
Yeah, so the Crescent Moon, was that the name of the item, or was that the
Yeah, it's called the Crescent. That's what I have written down. Crescent Moon +1 of silencing. Or
Yeah,
Crescent Moon of silencing +1. I don't know why I have the +1 in the.
because
middle.
it was a poleaxe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
halberd, or
Yeah.
poleaxe.
No, it was specifically it was a poleaxe. So it was poleaxe. That's why it was, because he's skilled with polearms. I believe is the skill.
Yeah.
He
Oh
has.
yeah, absolutely. That's.
And so the base damage on it when you're skilled is D12 +1, and so it was also then he gets the other bonuses on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like if. The only reason I was actually asking, because Crescent Moon, I don't know, I saw a moon, I'm like, does this thing, like, light up? Is it potentially in darkness, like...
No, it's just that the head of it looks like a crescent moon
Okay,
on the axe
that's all.
part. And so it's just a named weapon. Somebody named it.
Ooh.
Weirdo.
Does that?
And the silencing is wasn't that like it's if somebody hits it, they have to make a saving throw or be silenced?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have... Yeah, it has range, it has hook, disarm, deflect, that...
Oh, never mind. That is a halberd. Yeah.
Oh.
That is a halberd, not a. Oh, you're an expert in halberds, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right. Because
it's the only thing keeping my character alive.
Yeah,
because I've been able to
gives
stand behind
you
guys.
expert gives you a deflect as well as giving you better armor class versus the first hit, and it does D12 +3 damage on a base attack. So before your other modifiers like your strength and the magic weapon bonus. Because halberds are hardcore as you level up in them.
I need
So,
it. That's I've been
that's the halberd.
Pure
BS
glass
is the
cannon.
basic line. SK is skilled. EX is expert. Go for the Grandmaster.
That's right.
At level 9, you can get Master. 2d8 +3.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. Asiago definitely is a glass cannon. He definitely relies upon the things that are trying to kill me die before they can kill me.
He reached over us a lot of the time. That's for
Yeah.
sure. With the
That's
pole
the
arm.
thing.
Yeah, because he's using the reach portion of it. Because it's a two-handed reach weapon.
Yep.
He's never used the hook or disarm portion.
Yet.
Or set versus charge. He can also set it, like, if an animal's charging you, you can be like, nope, I'm gonna do double damage to you, motherfucker. Alright, yeah.
So
You were on...
We were just moving through. Yeah, sorry.
You were moving through the ward for
I
the goblin
derailed us because I was curious about what
Yeah, you're
Ah.
in the Nightwalker goblins area.
Is it
That's
daytime?
where you're at. No, that's just the overarching goblin tribe that lives
Yes.
in this area is the Nightwalkers.
Right, and I'm asking if it's daytime.
Yes, it is daytime.
Okay.
You guys do not do overland travel at
Naming convention could mean something. We don't know.
That's true.
Perhaps they're nocturnal.
And
Sleeping baby goblins.
yeah, like there's lots of, you guys see some birds, deer in the distance that don't let you get too close. There's definitely squirrels in the area.
Squirrels.
Lots of insects buzzing around because it's springtime.
Lovely.
And of course, because it's a D&D world, like some of the insects are slightly larger than our real world equivalent.
Eleanor
Like,
feels
not
Disney
excessively
princess.
larger, but it's things like, oh yeah, there's dragonflies that are,
What's
The
commonly
size of
6
hummingbirds.
Well, yeah, 6 to 8
Puppies.
inches across. Like that's like from tip to tip. Like they're not excessively large, but they're way larger than you'd normally expect them to be in the real world. But it's a D&D world, so like a lot of things are bigger than you'd expect.
Eleanor feels like a Disney princess. She wants to make friends with every butterfly,
While
beetle.
along the trail, Helga has you stop because she's like, "Do you hear that buzzing?" So speaking of big insects, the clearing up ahead, she points at the tree, and you guys can see some things fly in and out. Bees, 2 feet long,
Bees!
giant bees.
That's some big fucking bees. Holy
How to
shit.
leave them alone. They're working really hard.
Yeah, no, Helga says we don't necessarily want to attack them, but man, if we could get some of that honey, the honey sells for a lot. It also
That'd
can
be
heal
a
you.
grand idea.
Those of you who are spellcasters know that the easiest way to make a potion of healing involves literally using the ambrosia honey from giant bees.
Really?
Yeah, because by itself, if you drink like a big old cup of it, it heals D4 hit points.
Holy shit.
But it's not all the honey. It's specifically it's the royal honey. But like giant bee honey in general can get rendered down to be as a base component, so even wizards can make healing potions without having to use clerical magic.
Ah.
Because it's literally a healing item. It's well known. Commoners know it. It's just commoners don't go out of their way to try to collect it because man, dealing
Scary
with giant
bees.
bees is a great way to die. Even
Yeah.
if like you end up with some dead bees, you still died when the stinger went through you. Because it barbs itself in you, and having that go through your midsection means you're dead.
Makes sense.
Gross.
But yeah, you guys see a couple of dozen bees in the area now that you're looking. You realize this whole couple hundred yards around that easily has 24 bees flying, like doing that haphazard,
Flight of the bumblebee.
yeah, like the bee scouting and the bee like let's check out things. They're probably going way further afield, but these are the ones that are near the hive. So it's a big old pile. It looks like trees that had fallen, and maybe washed up from like a flood or something. But the beehive is probably up underneath that, next to like a rocks or next to a cave or something. So it's probably very extensive. You just can't see it all. But yeah, she points it out. It's like we can deal with that. We can move past it.
How many bees would you estimate? Actually, do this in character. How many bees do you think would be in that hive? Just rough guess. If we wanted to extract some stuff.
I have never myself gone into a giant beehive. I know others who have. They talk about dozens and dozens of bees, but those are just the ones they see. And we can see a dozen flying around outside. Who knows how many are inside? I know beehives don't all have all the bees out at one time.
Sure.
You
So
better start counting, Linus.
if we can see
Well-
24, then there might be another 24 or more inside the hive right now.
Well, if we wanted to wait here and rest, I could prepare a couple of spells that would make it a bit easier. I can at least fascinate them and even talk with them.
You get-
Linus, I
mean-
didn't realize you spoke bee. How charming. What does that sound like?
Bzz, 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 bzz.
Was that it? Was that a joke? It didn't sound like a joke.
You hear some bees off in the distance laughing.
Blarth doesn't appreciate you stepping on his toes. Comedy is his thing.
Just don't have the refined palate of a bee.
Well, if Brother Linus is confident, I don't see why we can't stop and rest for a little while. It does seem like a very valuable resource, and it is part of why we decided to take the long way around, so it were.
Bee.
What did one bee say to the other bee? Oh, honey.
I rather like that one. Asiago, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it ain't too damn hard to make another healing potion. Asiago actually has the ability. I can make a non-divine potion of healing that doesn't use royal jelly, using plants and fish. So I'm not so impressed by the honey, but at the same time, I understand that a lot of folk really value this stuff. So would fetch quite a pretty penny, I would say. Not entirely against that.
Not sure what he means,
Also-
but I like that penny.
These potions taste way better than fish brew.
Yeah, but when you're about dead, it doesn't really matter what it tastes like, does it?
Exactly.
I disagree entirely. The honey does sound much more divine than what we've been consuming.
I mean, alright.
It's not that bad.
Please don't misunderstand. I do appreciate it. It's just, it does taste an awful lot better. I'm so sorry. I can't.
It's just bad.
It's an acquired taste that I have not quite gained
Acquired?
access to. The DLC, so to speak, is not available in my region.
It,
Better get on that VPN.
it tastes like low tide smells. It's acquired, to say the least.
Alright, I'll see you next time you all need a fucking health potion. So you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, you
yeah,
really care
I-
about the taste.
Your party's alchemist is like, no, I get it, guys. I get it. I get it. I know when I'm appreciated.
No more for you.
I'm gonna go fishing! Yeah!
Alright.
That's fine, we all rest. That's what the party wants. Works for me.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Helga finds you a spot. You guys make a nice bonfire. Helga also suggests we can try using smoke. That works on regular bees.
we do have experience smoking things out, so certainly
Might
be
be why I try to make them a little bit more docile to...
yeah.
Yeah, well, basically, we'll make a big bonfire, have a bunch of like makeshift torches prepared, and basically make the bonfire right up next to it, move the fire in, and carry torches in, and basically keep the smoke going while we're inside.
Sounds like a plan
That's
to
her
me.
suggestion.
Yeah.
That's just because she's like, I do regular honey, like that's something I'll do on the regular every year, and that
will
involves a lot of
praise-
smoke.
Her for her ingenuity and quick thinking.
Well, you did pay her for her wilderness guild.
Yes, but I want to flatter her as well.
She accepts the flattery. So, you guys are spending the night. Helga and whoever wants to help her will collect up enough wood so that the next day, if the spells don't work properly, you guys have a backup plan of smoking it out.
I will help Helga.
Right.
I think she's pretty.
Yeah. We won't do so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the plan is you guys are prepping spells just for the bees. And then as a backup plan, you guys have stoked up the fire in the morning so that you have the potential to move a bonfire near the bees while holding on to like 2 torches each to like create a shit ton of basically like green wood burning to make a shit ton of smoke. Won't be pleasant for you, but it should hopefully calm the bees down. And now, I believe the star of the show is Brother Linus.
All right. So, give me just a second.
Brother Linus is looking up how to bend reality
To his will.
Spells to his will.
Ah, yes, the perfect spell. Giant animal growth. Let's cast that.
You could make those like medium into medium-sized bees rather than small-sized bees.
Utterly terrifying.
Is that what we want?
Delightful. No. Instead, rounds are long as shit in this, aren't they? It's like 10 minutes.
No, turns are that long. Rounds are just the 10 seconds, man.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna read out the spell real quick, so everyone's understanding. Thanks to this spell, the caster is able to enchant 2 hit dice of animals, per experience level, so 14 total hit dice. It doesn't allow a saving throw to avoid the fascination, and the spell affects at least one animal, even if it's 2 high hit dice. It remains enchanted and immobilized as if dazed, does not attack unless they are attacked. If it is used against animals that are already attacking, it only lasts a few rounds. Otherwise, it's a d4 plus 1 turn.
And then I take it you're going to be casting Speak with Animals as well?
I think I'm
That
gonna
lasts
keep.
an hour?
Yes.
So that's 60 minutes, and you can just have conversations with animals within 30 feet of you. They get you get a +2 bonus on your rolls to convince them of like things. But remember, you're talking with animals.
Yep.
So it doesn't make them smarter, it just makes it so that you can understand them and give them the right cues to understand you, so it converts you talking into whatever animals would use to like express something to each other.
Yep. Ooh. I wonder if we could deceive them into thinking that we're also bees using the right bee dance. No, that probably wouldn't work. Try it later. But I'm just gonna prepare a bunch of fascinate animals. Like basically all of my first level spells is fascinate animals. And start hitting the ones in front of, or immediately towards the entrance.
Okay. The rest of the group has gotten a bonfire so that it's about 100 feet from where the hive is, but not like directly in line. So it's not going to freak the bees out immediately, but it's close enough where you guys can easily get fire to the hive if you need to. And then Brother Linus casts his first fascinate animal and fascinates a shit ton of bees, because the regular bees are half hit dice each.
Oh my god.
They're bees, dude. They're big, but they're just bees.
They're just bees.
So these giant bees the workers are half hit dice. Once you get inside, the drones are 1 hit dice, and even the queen is only 2 hit dice.
Wow.
They're bees, dude. They're small bees. What do you want?
Bees are terrifying. I don't know if you've seen.
Here's the thing: if their stinger hits you from most of the bees, it only does like D3 from a worker, but then you have to make a save versus poison. If you fail that, you take an additional D6 point of damage a round for 3 rounds as the poison keeps pumping into you.
Good God.
Because that's what bees do.
Yeah.
And instead of being a small one where it's just going to give you a little raised welt, the stinger is like 6 inches long and the poison sac's like 2.5 inches across.
Yep.
And it's just dumping the poison into your body. You're just like, oh god. It's not strong poison, but it's still poison.
It's still enough to kill Asiago.
The queen stinger, by the way, doesn't pull out of her, so she can just keep stinging you.
Oh, that's just lovely.
It acts as an injector for poison, so you just have to straight up make a saving throw or take 3d6 damage.
Her entire abdomen is just a vat of poison. She doesn't actually have babies.
She's not large size, but instead of being like a skinny 2-foot long thing, she's more like 4 feet long. So she's the size of like a dog, but that's still only small.
Yeah.
With a stinger that's like 8 inches long that doesn't pull out of her, and she probably has like 6 inches across with a stinger sac, so she can keep stinging you quite a few times, doing D8 damage plus the poison each time.
All right. So
yeah, you begin casting that. It doesn't work immediately on all them, but it works on enough of them quickly enough where because he's willing to just keep casting Fascinate Animal like 4 times. Because I think that's how many of those you have?
think so. Let me check.
At least 3. It might be 4.
Yeah, and I can't upcast, right? But
No, you can't upcast, but like using the latest version of the class document, you are a cleric who is 7th level.
yeah,
So you have a fuck ton of
I'm sitting at
3
3 right now.
Yeah, so you have 3, and then 3 seconds. So you can also memorize a bunch of speak with animals,
Yeah.
which makes them more favorable even if they fail. So you get 3 fascinates, probably 3 speaks, and yeah, go from there.
Okay. So
yeah, you managed to fascinate. What is that? 14 of them with each casting. So 14 of them get you all the way inside to the queen.
fantastic.
Okay.
The room where the pupa are, that you can see there's probably like a wall of 4 dozen pupa.
Creepy.
The queen, 6 drones, and a dozen workers, which all of whom basically at this point are fascinated and not like they're basically just hanging out and like super chill because he's literally using magic to make them super chill. And why don't you try speaking with animal?
Oh boy. All right. Give me just a second here.
Because you got to convince the queen, and you're gonna have to use speak with animal because with only 3 castings to fascinate, you did not have enough left for her on top of everybody else.
Yeah.
You do get a +2 on this roll, so that
Oh, that's
negates
helpful.
the your charisma because the speak with animal gives you a +2 on reaction rolls with animals.
Sweet. So it's just a flat 2d6.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Unless you have anything compelling to add to this.
Yeah, like, okay, so we're just here to take some honey. Ooh, do we have anything that we could offer them? Let's see. We don't have pollen. Probably what their main food source would be.
No, bees eat. Okay, so these aren't nectar bees.
Oh, these are meat bees.
No, these are bees that will eat meat on top of other things. They make the pollen from both the pollen. They make it from pollen as well as meat. They're a little more opportunistic because they're bigger. They got more options to them.
What
So
if we offer them some meat?
So we look yummy, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but that's the fascinating. It's they're drugged out of their minds and they're happy. He literally is using magic spells to make most of the guardians here just be like stoned out their gourds happy.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you want to offer them up some meat and then like make that you're like we're just gonna take some royal jelly. Here's some meat as thank you.
Yeah, I feel like that would be appropriate.
Yeah, I'll give you a +2 on top of that. So you have a +4 minus your charisma mod. Well, add 2d6 plus your charisma modifier plus +4 total.
All right.
Let's make this happen. As you implore the queen.
Please, sir.
So we're offering you this meat. In exchange, we are
In
making
exchange for your
but a
delicious,
small amount
I
of your
am
royal
so.
honey. And then what are you
Clark,
storing the
you
royal
have to
honey
have
in?
a bee joke.
I thought I did.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like this is relatively recent.
Oh, is that a plus? Is that a 10 on that?
That is a 10.
Sorry, Eleanor. I watched you do fish jokes.
Yeah. The queen will in fact take the meat and start like she's nomming on it. So you guys get a chance to collect up royal jelly. What are you using to collect it up in? What do you have for containers?
So the jelly is in like the hexagon made of wax, right?
There are several
out...
of those. Do you guys want to just carve those out?
Exactly. We just have those as our pots.
So you guys managed to carve out the section where Helga will point out the royal jelly because she's seen it before, and you guys have 2 gallons worth of royal jelly in sealed containers. Now each cell is seriously like the size, slightly large. It's like a 3-liter soda. That's the size of it. The 50% larger than a 2-liter, but that's the size of the cells that the pupa are in, because they're not the same size as the adult bees. They're a little smaller. They do grow in once they crawl out, but they're still pretty fucking big.
It's a big place.
Yeah. So 2 gallons means that there's about 3 of those. 3 of those big sealed containers of royal jelly, because that's the good stuff.
I forget what sort of bag did we have to carry this?
I think
baggage
we're all.
situation.
I don't think we ever found a bag of holding of any sort.
Oh, is there not a group bag of? No one has a bag of holding.
Well, actually, did we get one?
I thought we might have had like a handy haversack or something, but I can't recall.
You should check. People should check their character sheets.
Yeah, it's not on the party loot.
I do have a backpack that doesn't have very much in it at all, but
yeah, no, nothing about.
Haversack. Got a +1 dagger.
yeah, same here.
We found a bunch of those actually, if I remember right. We had like 8 at one point.
I have a dagger for like.
S has 2.
Right? Exactly. We just had so many daggers. Oh shit. Yeah, just regular backpack, not handy haversack. So, I guess we're wrapping them up, storing them.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know what we would use to wrap it up, other than just chunking it in the backpack, which doesn't seem like a great idea.
No, like, do these wax containers feel robust enough that like they could travel? You know, just like wrapped in a oilcloth or something. Or
probably, but you don't want to stack anything on top of it.
Okay.
You want them on top of things, not buried underneath.
Yeah, so we just keep it on top of our bags.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a couple. I've got like a. No.
So I'm going to suggest, rather than calling it out as 2 gallon, call it out as the number of pints. So in this case, you have 8 pints.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Because pint is the 1 pint of it, if you drink it, does the D4 healing. So each pint of royal jelly is worth about 25 gold.
We should probably split this up amongst the party anyway, just in case.
Yeah.
So everybody grab 1, and then Linus, you should probably hang on to an extra one, being that you're the healer of the group.
Sure. So these are like emergency healing potions that we could eventually convert. Actually, would Asiago know how to convert this? Given his alchemy skill?
Yes.
I have the ability to make the non-divine version potion.
Yeah, no, he knows how to convert. Like, it basically, each pint would have, he would take a process. It takes a little bit, but he could do it. So he can convert each pint down into literally a small potion by like getting the essence of like what the healing is. So it goes from drinking a pint that does D4 healing to drinking a small little like 1 ounce container that does D6 plus 1 healing.
All right.
He knows how to do that. It just takes some time and like actually having the alchemical kit.
Yes.
He's got an alchemical kit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
But
you
we
just
probably
don't want to
shouldn't
be
do
doing
this
that on
right
the road.
here.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're
Like
not
while
doing
we're
it.
dealing with
Exactly.
Just
We need to still
set up
transport it.
shop and.
Oh man.
But absolutely, I think I might have a little project tonight.
Start the process of converting some pints down.
I think we'll be able to do that. Yeah.
And so instead of each of us taking one, we'll just hand it all to.
I already on my character sheet as well have 100 grams of material to make other healing potions as well, which I'm not too sure how much per, but I think it was maybe 50.
Oh, if it says 100G, that means that's 100 G's worth of healing potion materials.
Yes.
Because it's 100 gold. I literally gave it to you and like, hey, what the gold of the finished product would be, because it's easier to subdivide it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 98.8 G of healing potion materials.
Yeah.
That expires in a week. But this was like, I think I just got this when we.
Yeah, because you just bought them in Threshold, so you have plenty of time to start turning that into
Mission plants.
Dude, I'm sorry, that was years ago.
And
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, literally.
Yeah. So I would be interested in in the current state. Yeah, we just hopefully are able to travel them back. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain, but as long as we're careful with them and people got backpacks without too much in them, we should be able to at least get them back to when we set up a proper camp. And I'll work on making these into proper potions for us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. This in fact counts as treasure, like, as in, like XP worthy. You accomplished something here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, good
And
job
you did
with
it
those
without even
bees.
having to. You didn't. Yeah, you did it without even having to kill all the beasts, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Save the bees.
It's like the D&D player in me is like, but combat, and then I'm like,
But-
oh right, death.
Yeah.
Also, loot gets you XP, so
Yeah, exactly.
And an accomplishing thing gets you XP. You don't need to actually have killed
Murder
them to
hobo.
accomplish things.
Exactly.
And you guys now know where a giant beehive is if you want to point at people and be like, hey, and there's a giant beehive if you want to go try to entice
I was gonna say
the
I
queen to move.
kind of want to like. How far away is this from our farm?
It's pretty fucking far away. It's off the beaten trail, basically. That's
I was
the...
gonna say I kind of wish like we could extend an invite to the bees to come and join us in bee talk
Ooh.
to set up camp on
but
our farm. Should they ever need a
looking-
place to call home?
It's something to consider if you guys want to spend some time when you're out over at your farm. Ask around and see if there are any giant beehives within like a reasonable distance of your farm, and get that to come to your farm.
You know, that's actually a really good idea, because if we could convince the hobgoblins to hunt a little extra to help feed the bees and offer the bees protection, the bees would then in turn maybe give them honey that we could then turn into potions and start selling.
Yep.
As a commodity.
Yep.
Fucking
Yeah.
money.
I'm
Let's
loving
do it.
your entrepreneurial spirit over here, folks.
Yeah.
All because I stopped and I bought that farm from those farmers.
Hey.
So you guys are congratulating yourselves. You
Uh-huh.
guys are leaving the place. And then I don't know if anyone notices, but like little S literally has an entire other section of honeycomb.
Oh my god.
That's my baby
And
thinking
he
about the long run.
He had cut off one of the cells that's like the 3-liter size, and he's just like drinking out of it
Go for
like
it.
a sippy cup.
You earned that little guy.
he might want to slow down just a bit, not get sick off it.
I'll
But
be right
you
back.
know what? I'm not gonna stop, little guy. I'll let you decide on that one. It's a lot to take in, little guys.
He's a growing boy.
Probably better than him leaving it and it fermenting and then us having a drunk little S rolling around on mead.
Oh, that could be
Andy
healing
has to
mead.
go away.
Oh my god, healing mead sounds amazing.
That would be hilarious, though. I mean, I think about it. I remember. Yeah, I got a hold of some meat when I was a little one. Fun time.
You have a good night, guys.
A little less. Sneaky son of a bitch.
Right.
Sorry about that. I was getting my keys back. Johnny never to borrow my car for the night.
Oh, nice.
How are they doing?
Yeah.
They're doing okay. They were out at a birthday party, so they had driven with Jackie and Brett over there, and so my car is the easiest one to hold 4 people in. So rather than the truck or Jackie's little Civic, which they're
You would have a little Civic.
yeah.
She's a
Little
good
rice
car.
rocket, hilariously. make fun of him because man, he hates the Japanese.
Just hates him.
No, he does. Like I don't think you understand. Like
The problem.
poor white people in Alabama don't hate black people as much as Jackie hates the Japanese.
I'm sure he's got his reason.
Institutionalized.
His family's from Taiwan, and so he grew up on stories about the monsters from Japan.
Ah.
Like personal family stories of the horrible things that the Japanese did to his family.
Yeah, that'll
So,
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
He
the
just
Japanese-
also he simultaneously loves World War II,
Looking dark.
but he also simultaneously loves the Axis. But like he hates the Japanese, but he loves their military stuff. But he hates the Japanese, so it's really incongruous sometimes to have a conversation with them about it.
Yeah, it's all weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's fun. Builds character.
I reckon he's an interesting man.
That's the way to put it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you guys managed to recover some royal jelly. Little less managed to recover a shit ton of jelly, and just regular jelly though.
That's my baby.
He's just eating the honey. He's
That's
having a
fine.
good time.
Yeah.
And yeah, Helga is impressed. She had not realized that you guys were going to be so competent at recovering the jelly without hurting any of the bees.
I will waggle my eyebrows at her seductively. Tell her that I can show her more on my farm.
As the flirting continues. Little Linus.
Will
That was not what... I was thinking little less, but I was trying to write something
Little
about Linus.
Linus.
I was like, or little
Little
Linus.
Linus.
No, I meant to talk.
I mean, he's not big, so.
Yeah, he is a small man. I think I had him at like 5'5" or 5'4".
Well, it's part
Yeah,
of
5'5".
I think Blarth is the only one that's like 6 foot.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Eleanor, you're pretty tall.
I was gonna say I'm pretty fucking tall.
Yeah.
I'm not the
short.
tallest, but.
I take that back. I'm 5'11", so I'm almost
I
6
thought
foot.
you were taller than me. What
No.
the fuck?
I'm
I'm
5'6".
5'11" apparently.
Short ass elf.
That's
5'11" is
really,
still
that's
pretty
really
tall.
tall. It's really tall for now. Most elves are in the like 5'6" range.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, alright.
I went with like the tallest that an elf could traditionally be.
So the thing about
Something
the elves is that
freakish.
the difference in height between elven males and elven females is really close. They don't have a lot of height difference.
In fact, they shave
it's
off
like
their legs.
Eleanor towers over me.
The same height.
For sure.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was a god.
Sorry.
I mean, you're just like there are humans who are really tall too. Like if you go up to the Heldonic Freeholds or Vestland or Ostland, like the average height is well above 6 foot.
Wow.
I'm-
We are.
Whereas in the Empire of Theatis, there's whole sections where humans have an average height of like 5'6". Like
I am but a man.
But the man.
Yeah. So you guys have some
Nice.
honey, and then
Hell yeah.
it's not even the day's not even done. You guys just can keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get us to a nice areas which we're able to set up camp. If we're not in a rush necessarily, and we need.
I know that like literally you guys did this in the morning. Not a whole lot of time had passed, so
Oh wow. Okay.
less than a mile and a half from there, you guys reach a section of woods where Helga stops, and she points out. You guys can see animal skulls, some goblin skulls, and some human skulls, like hanging off of like ropey strands of like bark tied together along certain areas. It looks like these are like fetish markers from something wanting to let you know like there's something important here for them. And she's like, this is definitely, we're near a goblin camp. And the goblins feel bolder to put these out. They only put things like this out if they don't think they're gonna get like have us kind of walk into them quickly or often. So the goblins here feel much bolder, probably because they're not having to be out in the sun the way the goblins were on that rocky outcropping.
Changes you.
I look back to Blarth. I'm like, got a better joke this time?
What was wrong with the last one?
Nothing was wrong with the last one. I'm just saying that you might need a better joke this time for these folks. That's all I'm saying. I think you might need your A material on this one.
It could have been a little bit better, I suppose. I thought it was hilarious. Though.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
You think they know what a cleric is?
Yeah.
That's just one way to find out.
I say yeah, but it's like clearly turning into a big question mark at the end. Like, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know a little less knows what a cleric is, but not too many big goblins as far as a little S. So I'm not too sure. Great question.
I think we could make it work.
I'm hoping Lil S caught that compliment.
Give him the side eye.
Yeah, little buddy.
Yeah, when you get the side eye over to Little S is pointing off in the woods.
Oh,
What's he pointing at?
yeah.
You follow it out.
Yeah.
You don't quite know what he's looking at, but like it's like a tree, but it almost looks like there's a blind up on the tree, like a hunter's blind up on the tree.
Oh,
What's a hunter's blind?
A platform
yeah.
for
Yeah.
hunting from.
It's basically just something that's like strapped to the side of the tree, and you just sit up in it for hours waiting for something to come by.
Yeah, but it looks like where there's a big branch came off. It looks like somebody has lashed up like a series of other cut smaller branches to make like a quasi angled platform.
Hmm.
And then Little S will, quietly say, "I saw someone duck down over there."
You're so precious. My baby's speaking to me now. Wonderful. I'm gonna dive into my bag and pull out the next best thing to nibble on, and toss it to him, and then communicate that with the rest of the party that doesn't speak Goblin.
That's right. He hasn't really talked much before this.
Nope.
No.
He has rarely spoken.
He only talks to mommy.
Is there? Let's see. Would this be like perception, or maybe would I be able to investigate maybe into the area to kind of maybe spot even more platforms?
Yeah, if you want to take the time to like look around the area and maybe like be willing to like get behind a tree and like change your perception and move around like within like a 20-foot area, you can roll a 2d6 plus your if you have any relevant skills for like searching or discovering or investigating or any sort of like survival skill, you can get in those bonuses and make the roll. If you're an elf, get a +2 because there's still a vision component here.
Survival? Would that help at all?
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah. I'll roll
I
survival.
have survival forest.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'll give you-
survival mountains?
This is more forest than mountains, but I'll still give you a +1 for having survival. I'll give you an extra +1 for having forest, so you get a +2 on that on top of your bonus from wisdom.
Okay,
Nice.
so it's /R.
Base 2d6 plus your wisdom bonus plus your 2 from the survival,
6.
Why did that not work?
and then 2 from elf.
Plus
Elf, yeah, you got +5.
2 for elf.
Oh, there we go.
plus 2 for survival, and then plus 1 more for.
Oh yeah. So since everyone got at least a 7, and it looks like 9s across the board, you guys all realize there's like 3 of those stands in the area. The path you're on, you guys can see that there's other trails offset like 30, 40 feet off, carefully behind like bushes and trees, so that groups can move along the forest floor parallel with this trail without being on the trail. This is an ambush spot. And you guys definitely get the feeling that it's pretty in use. You guys can see signs that small-footed humanoid figures have been here within the last day, maybe hours ago, on the ground that you're walking on now.
Do we see any evidence of other larger booted footprints?
No larger booted footprints on this trail that are fresh or anything like that. You see some tracks of animals, small animals mostly. You see signs that there's birds in the area, but it's all quiet right now. Mind you, you're here, so that's not that surprising.
Yeah. Quiet because we are here.
But it's completely believable that Little S might have seen a goblin duck down behind a barricade, not spotted by other folks, and that they're keeping out of line of sight of you. But it's entirely possible that within visible distance from you, but hiding behind things, are goblins right now. You guys 100% would believe it.
Well, I think maybe the same tactic as before, with more emphasis on the fact that Maybe we burn down their forest if they don't leave us alone.
You are getting darker in your old age.
That's not what we are actually going to do. Although maybe it'll happen anyway. But it's more the point. It keeps them off our tail. Do you want to have to fight an army full of, or a forest full of goblins? I surely do.
I don't think that they would fight us, but I suppose we could
No.
try it your way.
They will pincushion us instead.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, what say you, Blarth? Asiago. Shall we continue to intimidate these small little individuals into submission?
I look to Blarth and I'm like, yeah, you got lined up for me to deliver. Suppose I could do the same.
You know, oddly enough, I don't. And when it comes to keeping, intimidation and getting things to follow you, you should probably take some notes from Eleonora. She might actually have something for you here. Like, how would you word it?
Feel a little on the spot all of a sudden. Well, to be honest, I feel like what we could simply tell them is they should join us, or else.
Or else.
Yes. Or else.
Eleanor's a big
Wait.
fan of the or else.
Wait. Join us? I thought we were, intimidating here. You want them to join us?
Well, I mean, I can't think of any easier way to continue to travel along these roads other than to make our numbers known. The bigger the horde, the less likely they are to try and disrupt whatever it is we're doing.
I will say, given that it's not like we won't be back through these parts sometime soon in the near future, we make our word known. Might not be a bad idea. Word spreads fast. We could maybe work with the folks around us instead of, purely going on intimidation. That might work. But, I mean, let it be known also, if push comes to shove, more than capable of dealing with them.
Fireball, absolutely.
Suppose that's not a bad approach.
Are you wanting to bring them to the?
No. Just more or less, just
We're
have a
allied
common
kingdoms.
understanding. We need to just move through the area. We're not trying to disturb their livelihood, and at this
We have no
point,
interest in doing so.
Exactly. We're not trying to, while they might be ambushing folks here, I gotta imagine it's not too many folks coming through here anyways, and they understand the repercussions of maybe attacking us. They might not do such to us, and might be worthy to have some neutral.
Think of the
people
tariffs
in
we
the
could
area.
collect in the event that we got them over into our side. More money for that big fancy church of yours.
You see Linus visibly relax when both of you are like, "No, we're not taking them over to to our property." He's like, what? Goblins follow search of good goblin. Goblins follow good goblin. Opens his eyes. All right. As long as they don't come with us, let's try it. Well, fuck. No, how am I going to train them if I don't have at least one of them?
Too late.
I was gonna say, already have to make it clear to me.
and I kind of
No
repeat the
takesies,
words.
backsies.
I repeat the words in Hobgoblin that Eleonora has described as far as, more or less not looking to disturb them, but maybe even work together in some regard. But if push comes to shove, we will retaliate. That's about it.
Yeah, make an intimidate check.
Dude, I
Awesome.
almost think we should convince. Like we
Yeah.
created a goblin mecha that they could join.
We could parlay with them and actually like trade with them a little, maybe even, or get some information. Like that is definitely a possibility. Linus will
Okay.
never suggest it, but that is definitely a possibility.
I mean, if maybe this gets them down to talking to us. Intimidation. What would that play off of for me?
2d6 plus your charisma.
Damn.
And then you're using hobgoblins to get a +2 on that. Like you're definitely being intimidating.
Okay, so that kind of recovers this.
Can we also encourage them that they should be joining the army of Little S the Dragon Slayer? We can put him on top of my shoulders, and we can have Little S like flex
Oh,
while
hey.
he's wearing that helm that he has.
We've done this before, I believe.
We have done this before.
Listen,
It,
I'm gonna
it worked.
keep doing it
I think.
until
Maybe not.
the wheels fall off this thing.
No, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's go.
If it ain't dead, little less.
I had it at a +1 because I'm a -1 natural on charisma, but then hobgoblin +2, so +1. But a little less factor.
The little last fact.
The S factor. You know you love it. Mhm.
Did you make the roll, or was that?
Not yet. No, I was asking. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So you're adding your charisma modifier, which is a penalty, I imagine, and then you're getting a +2 from it being the hobgoblin because you have.
Yeah, I guess the ask was if little S is there being like he's stunting basically. Is there?
Maybe he's stunting, but like it's not that he's helping. He's just by him being there, you're not getting extra penalties. Like you guys
Okay.
have all the right things to not take penalties on this roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The +2 is partly like your guys' group looks intimidating. You are speaking hobgoblin rather than just goblin, so it's like you guys are doing all the things to appear to be strong in the face of goblins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, 8. 6 and
I
1.
mean, that's still pretty good.
Up and down.
Yeah, 6 and 1.
Yeah, so you're gonna hear a call out in Goblin. Some of you guys can kind of understand Goblin. I think some of you have no idea what they're yelling at.
No. Sounds angry.
Kinda like a high shrill. Basically, you're getting yelled at by like an 8-year-old.
Listen here, motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's like it's an 8-year-old's voice, but it's like clearly being spoken by an adult with an 8-year-old's voice
That's kind of creepy.
What
in a
if
foreign
they-
language.
In a foreign language.
That makes it creepier, kind of.
Yeah. Calling out that no, we're the Night Walkers. We follow Drum Dum, the Great Goblin. We do not bow before you, but we understand you are strong. We will let you pass. We will not molest you as you travel through the lands. Seek not our caves, and we will not attack you at night.
Which caves should we be avoiding? Can you like specify?
Night
Is there a
Walker caves.
marker?
Night Walker caves.
Yes, of course. And if you could just detail exactly where those would be, we'd be happy to avoid them.
Eleanor, you're not helping. Are you guys translating this?
I speak Hobgoblin.
Yeah, I'm asking if you're translating it for those of us
We
who
are
don't.
Night Walker goblins. It is easy to see us. We don't bow before the dragon down in Dimrock like the other weaker goblins do. We pay homage to Drum, and through him, the great gods.
The Drum?
That is what they said.
Dom.
Dom. Does that ring any bells for anybody?
No.
Dom.
And what was the
No?
dragon's name?
No, they just said they don't bow to the dragon. That's all they said.
Oh. They pay homage.
But will they bow to us?
Yeah, they specifically
No.
said they don't bow to the dragon like those goblins down in Dimrock, which is, that giant forest to the south. That's said to be filled with goblins. And they're saying that all the goblins there pay homage to a dragon.
Ooh.
They instead worship the gods through his, prophet, the living Drum.
Drum Dom. So this could get
Can we ask
interesting.
them who this Drum-Dum is?
He is the great prophet.
Do you have any pamphletage? Any words that we can tell us more about this oh great one?
I like
We-
pamphlets.
I'm in the
We-
market for a good great one.
We follow
There's
the
only one
gods.
great.
We follow the gods Wogar and Hela.
Do I recognize these names?
I mean, Hela is a goddess. She's like a northern goddess of like the underworld and the dead.
Good,
She's
bad,
not-
kind of neutrally.
She's often considered one of the darker powers because there's definitely an element of like undeath to her worship.
Right.
She's not considered one of the patrons of like the Theatist church. The Theatans recognize her as being one of the so-called enemy immortals, but that's just because they don't like most of the gods of the underworld.
Right. I don't imagine
Um,
Eleonora would necessarily feel the same way as the majority of the Theatans, just because she's kind of against the grain anyway.
But how for undeath are you?
I don't know. I can't quite recall how elves generally feel about undeath. I imagine I probably would be not outside of whatever the status quo would be for my people, but Eleonora is a bit of a rabble rouser, and so would be open to other ideologies.
How do the elves of this
Open-minded.
world feel about undeath? Can't
I mean,
imagine very
They're not
favorable.
a fan of it. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man. You live a long time. What do you need to do the undead for?
But like, not everybody gets to live for forever.
No, but it perverts the natural way of things.
Yeah, the elves say that a lot.
They do.
It's just one man's opinion, man.
Like, whatever, man.
Perverts.
I suppose I wouldn't be for it, but I don't. I guess I probably also would. I can't imagine I'd want to make it my life's work to go after people who are trying to do it, though. Doesn't seem. What about you, Brother Lannis? Is it your mission to seek out those who?
So Wogar, is he is a god that's worshipped by a lot of goblins because Wogar is, in Karamakos, considered the patron of goblins, lord of wolves and predators.
Does little S know about this?
Yeah, I mean, he's heard of Wogar before. He doesn't worship Wogar, but Wogar was one of the there's a shrine to Wogar at his where he lived with goblins.
So, Linus is all for Wogar. Wogar is a natural thing. He is not a human god, so he would not follow him. But he is a god of the way that nature works, and
So actually, as a member of the local church, Wogar is an enemy of Halav, who's one of the 1/3 of your church.
Oh.
You're more of a follower of not Halav, but
Zerchev.
yeah, Zerchev.
Yeah.
Zerchev doesn't have a strong opinion on Wogar, but like Wogar is considered an enemy of Halav, and the feeling's mutual. Because specifically, Halav is considered the bane of all like non-human and elven and dwarven humanoids.
Yeah. Not many of those teachings that Linus really follows along with, but
But Wogar doesn't have strong opinions about either Zerchev or Petra, the other two deities.
have there been any like major undead offensives or wars that affected the area?
Yeah, lots.
Okay.
Like, there's
Then,
no reason why Karamako. But here's the thing: Wogar isn't a god of undeath. Wogar is literally a god. He's a patron of goblins, lord of wolves and predators.
is that who these goblins follow?
They follow Wogar and Hela.
And Hela. Okay.
Hela is a form of Hel, who she's
Yeah.
she's a deity of the underworld.
So Linus will say basically, I'm not a fan of the undead. They've killed too many and destroyed the natural order of things. So Helga, no. Wogar, take him or leave him. Not a fan, but he teaches right things.
Yeah. So Hel, you have some religion background, so she's considered the patroness of reincarnation, keeper of the netherworld, queen of ice and shadow. Her symbol when she's worshipped by humans is a black stone throne carved from human skulls.
That's pretty metal.
It's a
Not
metal.
gonna lie.
And
Right?
her portfolio often includes reincarnation, corruption, death, darkness, cold, entropy, evil shapeshifters, shadow, and cold.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good for a bit there, and then it
So
kind of petered into evil.
her appearance in most human mythologies is that of an extremely pale woman with a split face. One half is totally featureless, while the other half is breathtakingly beautiful, and then clad in jet black but very simple clothes.
So half in, half out. All right.
Damn.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, Linus, not a huge fan, but you know, not the worst.
But they specifically called out this Dom as the prophet, the goblin prophet,
Okay.
is what they call him.
Well, the goblins are allowing us to pass forward, so I suppose we could just simply be
Yeah,
on our
basically,
way.
as long as you don't seek out our caves here, we won't molest you as you pass through our lands.
And then one more time, where were those caves?
These caves are in this area. Like, this agreement only covers this cave group. Please don't go searching for the caves in this area.
Ask them what their symbol is, so we can know what to look for in the event that.
I'll ask them what their symbol is, so we can know what to avoid.
Yep.
As you marked your flags clearly, being such the smart and capable goblin folk that you are. So tell me, what are your markers?
Oh, let's see here.
I'd like to think that it does take them a moment.
Yeah, like what was it? I don't know. It's always Jim that does it.
So like they all dress in like dark gray cloaks. They use like these dark woolen or dark black cloaks. But I don't know if they have a actual symbol for themselves. Probably just a skull, like on a black background. Because that would make sense based on like how they keep using the skull motifs and how they call themselves the Nightwalkers.
Yeah.
They have sister tribes that call themselves the Night Stalkers, but like these northern goblins, that's how they organize themselves. They don't have banners the way the southern goblin tribes do down in the Dimrock Forest.
Are they leaving like skulls painted black, like on spikes here and there to kind of like demonstrate their territory boundaries?
Yeah, that's one of the things you would notice was the whole area had skulls.
Okay.
All over the place.
So if we see these kind of skulls, we'll know we're in your territory.
And act accordingly.
And then maybe see if they have like a phrase or something that would indicate to others not in this immediate vicinity that we do not intend them harm. So let us pass.
Oh yes, is there anything we can tell your sister tribes was to avoid any scuffle or rough about with them? Don't wish to dwindle your numbers.
You can entreat us the same way you did here, as long as they don't think you're being disrespectful to our gods or our land or Drumdum, you'll be allowed to pass.
It's good to know.
We do not bow to the dragon. We don't need to continually raid to pay his taxes.
And which dragon would this be again?
The dragon. He rules over all of Dimrock. He controls the other dragons of Dimrock.
Does he have a name?
The Green Lord.
The Green Lord.
I feel like we heard about this guy.
Yeah. You had heard of a dragon to the south in Dimrock, ruling over.
Yeah.
Can we roll a knowledge check to help remind us, since it's been a little while?
So, normal civilization knows that some dragons like carve out and like get tribes to like give tribute and things like that. Kermakos in general doesn't presently have a good strong grasp on the exact societal like connections with what the dragons are actually doing. So it is definitely one of those things where scholars don't know enough yet because adventurers haven't really tried to stop it. or the dragons haven't reached out to interface with human society.
That's the thing, is they haven't started scorching the human areas yet, so
No,
the
they
humans...
haven't. The issue is that the dragons actually learned a long time ago that if they press too hard on the Theatan Empire, their whelplings end up serving as mounts for the Theatan Knights. So the dragons walk softly when it comes to potential, like, Theatan legions coming for them.
Okay.
So fucked. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. Like, there's actually a decent number of Theatan Knights who ride white dragons, black dragons, and green dragons. It's because they've taken out the parents and get the whelplings, and they raise them, and then whole families will get to keep owning the same dragon.
Like having a car in the family that lasts a really, really, really long time.
And here's you have a special room made for it. You give it coins to sleep on. You probably store your treasury as its bed. It's this weird symbiotic relationship because you raise this damn dragon from when it was, less than a couple of years old.
Sounds like
And
something out of the Flintstones.
it's your family's. You're a flying knight of the Empire of Theatis. You have to be able to pay for and keep a dragon so that you can ride it into combat, which is really fucking expensive.
Again, I'm gonna say it sounds an awful lot like the Flintstones.
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
there's also a strong element of the feudal nature of it. Is that the empire doesn't pay for you to keep the dragon. You have to pay to keep it on your own. Then you get given a commission, and your flying knighthood is dependent upon you having a flying mount.
It's
And
basically
then
a
you're
luxury
judged
tax.
based on you're judged based on how good your flying mount is. Most flying knights, their families can only afford things like Pegasus.
So like if a dragon was killed, then that'd be kind of like almost the end of that house then in the knighthood.
Yeah, they'd have to scramble to get another one before the king or the emperor does a call up. It's not like it happens right away, but they have to have one by the next time the emperor is doing a call up. Otherwise, they won't have a flying knight. They won't have a flying mount to go with.
I can see that getting dirty.
Yeah, that's why a lot of adventurers will try to capture, accept the surrender of dragons to, sell them to knight families. And the dragons get out of it, they get to sleep on treasure, although they still have to accept letting someone ride on their back. So it is demeaning. So it tends to only really work for the younger dragons who you've raised from, only being a couple of years old. Because then you give them Stockholm Syndrome.
They like it because it's all they know.
It sounds like an
literally.
awful existence.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
But that's the Empire of Theatis. Their ability to deal with their enemies relies upon the fact that they have flying knights that use animals as mounts, because their main imperial opponent is off to the east of you guys. You guys have never encountered them. It's the Empire of Alphatia. And Alphatia has a bunch of fucking high-level magic users, so they control the skies by building flying ships and flying fortresses.
Well,
So
see,
the
this
only
is a
way
smart way to go
Theatis...
about it.
Yeah, but it's really expensive to do that, and you have to have this huge
Well, then have they tried
magical
not being
education
poor?
system.
Have they tried not being?
Well, it's not just that. You also have to have this magical education system, and Alphatia has had this one going back thousands of years. That Theatis doesn't have that background. That's not where their empire came from. They're acquiring one, but that takes millennia to build up that sort of magical knowledge and have those magical engines running. Alphatia literally has reworked the visible from orbit shape of the island they live on in order to funnel all the ley lines to the capital to do things like power their flying ship fleet.
That's fucking cool. Flying ships. All right. Well, we can consider kidnapping this dragon if we ever meet him. But for now, let us pass through this horrible goblin encampment and be on our way.
It's actually quite lovely compared to some of the other ones. They've got quite a decent infrastructure happening here. I've got a couple of concerns regarding, management style, but it takes all different kinds.
But how do you make a forest stink? like, it's impressive how bad it smells in here.
Little less than giving you the side eye.
Smell is quite subjective. I honestly don't notice anything.
Hmm. Why?
I imagine it's kind of more like how, like, when a crazy cat lady can't really smell the acrid aroma of her own fucking domicile, despite the fact that it has 50 fucking cats in it, and you know that apartment does not smell good.
Yeah. No,
Anybody who's ever like, I have 3 cats, that house is gonna smell awful. I'm sorry.
I mean, you could already tell.
Dude, like, I when I was working security, I caught a couple of feral cats, one of whom was like super fucking friendly, and I needed to get this cat adopted. And I took him to the local humane society, or the cat rescue. There's a feline rescue association in Santa Rosa, and I walked up to the door, and before I even opened the door, this just like wave of ammonia just like permeated the air. I was like, oh.
Permeated.
Oh, I know what that's like. It used to happen when I walked in our front door.
You're not wrong.
Not at Sherwood. This was before that.
I mean, it was a little bit at Sherwood at one point, but
A little
Yeah,
bit.
mostly if you were gonna
That
go
was
do
the
laundry.
hallway. But
Yeah,
That's cats. Cats will
that's
do that.
cats, exactly.
So yeah, you guys can get past these goblins, and then continue along the trail.
We
So you guys have passed by your second Nightwalker encampment and are turning. The trail actually splits here. You guys are not taking the south path. You're taking the north path, is what Helga's saying.
All right. What's to the south path?
Eventually, that would take you down to the main river that would run down towards Kelvin.
Oh,
Not actually where you want to go.
no, but a useful route out should we need expediency.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Cool. So we head north.
And she says it's going to go north when it hits the hills again. At the base, like the spur of the valley that they're in, kind of splits, and the one valley goes off to the northwest, and the other one goes off to the northeast. And we start hitting the lowland hills as the countryside begins rising up. When we hit that, we're going to turn and head east by southeast. So we're not heading straight like 45-degree off. We're kind of arcing, and like we're going to follow along the bottom of the hills before we turn up and go straight up the middle of the line of hills that go up to the north.
Nice.
The route north would take us and arc us back towards and circle the hills in this area. We'd probably end up running into more of those goblins in the area. Like that's entirely possible. The Nightwalkers have lots of their little villages within a couple of miles of each other along these paths here. So if you hang out on these paths, you can probably keep running into goblin villages every 4 or 5 miles, probably.
Have to do a lot of parlaying to get through here, but
yeah, or just plow through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys take another couple hours. You guys could camp for the night here as you're nearing. You're not quite in the hills, but like the hills are visible. There's easy supply of wood. Helga suggests it's probably not a bad spot. That way, you guys can probably reach where you're going tomorrow mid-morning.
Cool.
So yeah, that night, you realize that the hill up ahead, there's what looks like a cave with a light in it, about half a mile from you. That you didn't notice until it got dark enough to someone had lit as a fire. And it just so happens that you guys are angled just right to see the cave. Had you been off to the east or the west or the north, you would not have seen it.
Nice.
Just got that luck.
Yep.
Doing right.
That seems odd.
Helga's like it might be goblins. It could also just be maybe someone like us who's traveling in the woods. Or there's no real like that's up in the hills, so it could just be travelers moving through the area.
Are we headed in that direction?
Yeah, that's roughly in line with the way you're going, because that's where it heads up the hills. And she says there's a path that goes up along the edge of the hills that she's going to take on you tomorrow, and that's about the way it goes.
All right. Well, keep a weather eye. If it's not
Yeah.
too far out, we can go poke our heads in the cave, see what happened.
Do you guys want to poke your head in the caves here at night, or poke your head in the cave tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
During the day, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So the next day, you guys get up in there, and it's not that there's like skulls hanging around on things, but it's like rocks are piled like 6 high, but they're not big rocks. It's like those things that people do along trails that they think are
Cairns.
trail markers, but they're not really. They're like less than a foot tall. Someone's been stacking like a bunch of rocks. There's like a dozen of them here in front of this little clearing where you can see up inside a cave. You can just see where there was a fire lit last night. And then you can see around the flat parts of the rocks underneath the underhangs where like rain wouldn't fall directly on it. You can see someone has done like it's like simple charcoal drawings as well as like hand spits, but the hands are real small.
Are they funny?
No, it's where you like you put your hand up against something and then you spit something that's colored across the back of it, so it creates the negative image of a hand on the rock.
Those are funny. No,
So, yeah, it's like Wu-Tang symbols and stuff. Got it.
All right. So we had our own graffiti. You know, Linus was here. And move on.
Yeah.
do the markings look like anything in particular?
Yeah, did we notice anything of interest? And they seem goblin-sized, right?
Yeah, they seem goblin sized. It's stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured.
But it's that kind of thing. You can definitely see that there's other drawings. Some of them are stylized. You can catch some images where it's like someone's been inscribing things like that.
All right.
But it doesn't look like any particular language that we've seen before.
No. But it's like all over under the underhangs here. And it's all goblin-sized stuff.
All right.
And you hear this voice in bad common, like a little child's voice. You go! You anger spirits, they not answer properly. You go!
So, sorry, we leaving now. You have a good day.
You can see this little slumped figure, like, kind of doing that squat on the back legs, but like dressed completely in like small like squirrel furs all over, where it's like stitched together like squirrel furs is scale mail kind of look. So
Oh,
it's
he's
like
adorable!
way
Right?
more
That's what I was thinking.
squirrel furs than you would need with the tails coming off, just all over this little guy. And he's just squatting, and he's holding a stick that has a bunch of like feathers tied to it and like rocks embedded and looks like glued in with like resin.
Can I tell him that I like his stick in Hobgoblin?
You scare spirits. You go. You know
I
good.
scare spirit.
How do we please the spirits?
You too tall.
Too tall. What if we crouch down?
But I can't help that. How do I help that?
Sit down. Then don't be
He's
tall.
shorter. And not so
shorter.
ugly.
I'll get down on my knees and then I'll smile aggressively.
Now you uglier.
Ugly.
I'm
That's
trying.
mean.
I'm trying. Dude, my best year experience. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Have a good day.
Why you come here? You killing goblins? Why you come here?
No. We just passing through. Just here to there, over there, way far that way.
Why you scare all of Serta's spirits? Why?
Should we show them little S?
I hold out little S like he's baby Grogu, and I go, "No killy goblins, lovey
Why you have
goblins,
goblin captive and backpack?
because we love goblin." Little S, tell him how much you're loved.
He's just eating something.
See?
This
Happy.
here is the Dragon Slayer.
Our Dragon Slayer instructed us to come here.
Has he come to learn to talk to spirits?
Yes.
Oh, little S could learn to talk to spirits. We could have a little caster S.
I didn't know.
Little
All right.
S, would you like to learn how to speak with spirits?
He does that shrug of like, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna hold up some of the royal jelly and be like, "Who's gonna be Mama's good boy?"
He reaches for it.
Good grades first.
Good grades.
So he hops out of the backpack. All right. Now you go. You stay. I teach him.
How long?
Moons. You come back when sun highest.
Sun highest. So like.
Oh no! We're not leaving Little S here. Little S, do you want to stay here with this man? We just met him 2 seconds ago. You want to stay with Mama, right?
I teach him the good ways. Not no ways where we have to bow down, but ways where we take spirits and we make them do things.
If you leave little S here, he could learn the shaman ways.
No, shaman. He become Wokon.
Even better.
I will again ask Little S what he wants to do.
How long would that take?
Little less like taps his dagger at his side.
I understand. I actually don't understand. What does that mean? I feel like I should know what that means.
I mean, he likes cutting things. Like reading, that sounds like a lot of work.
He'd rather be a fighter.
rather-
Yeah, no, you can come back with Mom. I'll hold out my arms for him to come back up.
Bring him back when he's ready to learn, talk to spirits, and make them do things for you.
We absolutely will. What was your name?
I'm Serta. I'm the great Wokon for this valley.
Serta, the Great Wokon. You honor us with your bravery and your astute language.
Bah,
We will
you're
be
too
on our
tall and
ways.
ugly. Go away.
And your wokeness.
You're so delightful.
What's the valley's name?
He's implying he's the great Wokon for all of the Wolfwood Hills.
Okay.
That may not be accurate, but that's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. Sure. Okay. So, guess we pick up our stuff and head on out. Darkness will. Linus playing too many dumb clerics.
Wrong game.
I know, right? Right. We have another game with Mana as the DM, and I'm playing a cleric named Darkness.
The darkness.
The Darkness.
What?
Linus will say a prayer in Traldoran, whatever language he speaks. What is that? Theation. He'll say a prayer in Theation.
I mean, your native tongue is Chaldaran, but yeah.
Yeah. Or in Chaldaran or whatever. The thing is, he doesn't like Goblin, but he appreciates someone who's in touch with their spirits. So he'll say, for Zerchev to watch over this one at least. And we head on, I guess.
Yeah. You guys leave Serta and his the Wokon in his cave.
Zerta the Wokon.
And then you guys follow the trail, which later that morning will literally lead you to a stone fortress. The walls are like 30 feet tall. The jagged edges of the outside almost look like maybe some sort of like animal's teeth that are just like it's bared and the teeth are bared. It's like the way the walls are assembled, they just look like interlocking sets of teeth.
Gnarly.
Yeah, and it's pretty big too. It's easily like 100 and something feet by 200 feet.
The fuck?
30 feet tall, with all of these jagged prominences that are like 30 feet. Some of them are 20 feet, sticking in and out, in and out, in and out, all the way around. It's this weird oblong. Like, you've seen ruins with this kind of construction, but most of the ruins with this kind of construction are much smaller. They're like fragments of buildings left over. And they predated the Traldarns.
Oh, damn.
So this is construction style. Not necessarily that old, but it's construction style of things that were millennia old.
Okay.
Old school thingies.
Yeah.
Cool old school thingies. All right. Is there anything of note in it? Like, take a quick peek around.
It looks like there's one entranceway that you can visibly see, like having walked. You can do a quick walk around, and you can see there's literally one entranceway, and it's has some halved young trees, like poplar style, so nice and straight, split down the middle, and then with woven reeds and branches and wooden nails hammered together to form basically a barricade door. So nowhere near like the construction, and definitely nowhere near as old as this whole structure. And there's just one door for this huge thing that you can see.
Kind of pause
how
at the
close
door.
do you guys want to get to and investigate this place?
I'm just kind of poking at it, seeing if it's interesting. Kind of pause and listen as we go around it, see if I hear anything on the inside.
So, like I said, it's like 200 feet by like 120 feet, and it's not straight walls. It's in and out, in and out, in and out. So it's probably more than like 2,000 feet worth of linear walking if you were to like literally be keeping your ear on the side of this thing.
No, don't need to do that much.
Yeah, because it's not like it's that long, but it's like it's a bunch of like crevices in and out, in and out, in and out,
Yeah.
in and out. Yeah.
Just go into like one or two of them. Just give it a listen.
Yeah.
See if there's anything of note.
Sounds good.
Make everyone who's walking along on this, since you guys did do a full circuit, gets to make a 2d6 roll and add your wisdom.
Oh boy.
In this case, if you're an elf, you get a +2.
Eh.
This
Kinda
is just
clunking.
notice things.
Clunking and
But in this
clanking.
case, we do actually want a high roll, so.
Yeah. Well, right down the middle.
Sorry, one second. I'm trying to take a glove off. Ugh. Just trying to save it, but fuck it. Okay.
She's painting a dragon.
Oh, very
It's
nice,
a mini.
very nice.
A mini.
R 2d6 plus 2 for being an elf.
And then modified by your wisdom.
9.
Yep. All right. So you guys went all the way around. It's pretty thick walls, man. You don't really hear any. There's not enough going on inside. Like, there's no one like hammering. There's no forge running or anything like that.
How weird.
Yeah, like, and the walls being this tall, like, this is definitely not normal construction. It's also not exactly like, you guys have seen other buildings that predate the Traldarns, and this building construction is not exactly like that. It's of one of the particular cultures that predated the Traldarns. It's not some of the ones that you're more used to. Because you guys remember seeing that one city. You guys had,
All right, the flickering city.
yeah, you guys remember seeing that. That's not this construction. This is more like the stuff you guys had seen over back towards the farm that you guys have out towards the Black Eagle Barony. So it's that stuff out that predates. Out near where Asiago grew up.
Yep.
The human cultures out there were kind of different. That's a lot of the oldest myths and rumors of werewolves and the vampires actually all come from the human cultures that predated the Traldarans over in the neck of the woods that Asiago comes from. And that's where that
from Vampire Land.
That makes so much sense.
That's what I heard.
Sense. It totally makes sense.
Down in the bayou.
He's just some dude surviving in a terrible place, but he's in the bayou. No one paying him no mind.
Is living down there.
True blood nonsense.
Yep.
I mean, used to be people talking like him because he's from
around the time that both of the two elves were born was when the end of the wars that were caused by vampires. Like a bunch of nobles got turned and were literally fighting. Like different vampire clans were treating the nation states that were inside Traladara as like this blood bank / like giant chessboard where they were moving around mortal armies. And they literally ripped apart the nation. They were the cause of why Traladara was this weak civilization that Theatus was able to then, a century later, just march in because the vampires had totally destroyed the previous culture by the endless amounts of wars and like controlling all the leaders.
What happened to the vampires?
Well, we're dealing with one already.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they killed them all, right? Like they got rid of them.
We got one of them who let us go.
Yeah.
To tell the story that of all the So we're dealing with one
of the time we didn't die.
So they're still moving. They're still moving things around like pawns, just more in the shadows now.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So Asiago's a vampire. Got it.
Yeah. He was actually sent here to watch over us for that other guy.
He's a familiar.
I mean, you know what?
Renfield motherfucker.
I won't even deny it.
You got me. All right. Well,
no. Like I know. If I'm a vampire, that's news to me.
He hangs out in the sun a lot, guys. I don't know.
It's
he's fishing while he's doing it. But...
Again, some of us weren't saying that he's a vampire. Some of us were saying he's a Renfield.
Or we just haven't noticed, but he just wears a shitload of sunscreen. He's just like pasty white all the time. Makes total sense. He's got that stripe down his nose. You know the one.
Yeah. So you have a door. How do you guys want to deal with it?
Do we want to go in? Take a look.
Probably investigate it first.
Yeah.
We came all this way.
May as well.
I see no reason why not.
Take a peek at the door. Is it a normal looking door?
It's that weird giant wooden block that's like 10 feet across. It's more like a giant wooden gate made from trees, tall, like 10-foot tall trees, 10-foot sections of trees that are split down the middle, and then they alternate the center side facing out, so the bark side facing in, and then lengthwise strips of wood that are then hammered in with wooden nails and then tied off with bark rope.
So this is all
it's the kind of stuff you can make if all you have is an axe.
Yeah. But they're
pretty
huge
crudely designed,
trees.
but they're very pretty. Very boho.
It is very boho. That is true.
Boho.
Bohemian.
Yeah. You guys were able to open the door, and there's a big corridor that proceeds from the north to the north from the door.
Give it another listen. Everyone stops breathing and moving for a second.
Yeah.
For just a second.
Just freeze in space and time for but a moment.
You may be asking yourself how we got here.
Yeah, give me a second here. I actually can start giving you guys a map of this area.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We like maps.
Drink real quick in the
Word.
meantime, the between time.
Gotta say, it's good to be back.
Dude, right?
I'm gonna give Blarth more of a personality this time around. We'll figure it out.
I've missed this game.
I kind of want his just behavior and tone to be like basically me if I was like caught getting a cookie and trying to hide the fact or something. You know, like he's got that like tone of like, what you know.
This is
No,
fine.
I think you should
I don't
just
know
do
what you're talking about.
you should just do a 1-for-1 for you. It's just literally you transported to this world. That'd be great.
We did
What
that
the
one.
fuck? Oh shit.
Do you remember the movie Scrooged?
Scrooged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the
you
movie
just
we
staple
buy.
the antlers to their heads.
Yeah.
So you know the guy who Bill Murray fires.
Yeah, who comes out with a shot? It's
It's
Bobcat.
Bobcat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goldthwart.
So
yeah.
that.
That's like fucking. I can't do a
my-
fucking. Oh my god. Okay. Not
He's not that the
not-
whole time. He's not
No.
like that the whole time. He's just that a lot of the time because he ends up getting drunk.
I'm gonna have to watch some
shotgun
Bobcat
wielding
movies.
fucking bag.
I'm gonna have to watch some
Because he's
Bobcat
also
movies to get
he's
there,
he's one
but-
of the demons in Hercules. He's the chunkier one. And he's like
Yep.
it, like
Yep.
remember
Yeah.
that 1 year when all of the boys were named John and the girls were only Brittany? Like
I could do henchman 22, I think it is, or is it 21? The one that dies, actually. Yeah. Like, oh, all right. But like, not Blarth. You know, he's I'm just gonna go hand to the cookie jar.
you could
version
take
of
that
me.
cadence but remove like the nasaliness of it. So like if you brought it down an octave, so instead of it being
Oh,
like
that
up,
might hurt.
well you're just removing like the strain in your chords. So you're just loosening that up. So like take that noise but then bring it down.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
So like a Ray Romano. Like
I'll figure it out. I like the Bobcat idea, but right now we're going hand in the cookie jar. We'll figure it out. We'll get there with him.
All right. So, did we hear anything with our 9 and 10?
You guys
We listening?
ugh.
Maybe else
don't
listening?
hear anything.
All right.
I'm trying to remember how I did things. There we go. That makes sense. That evens it out. Ignore the obvious signs of me hiding things.
Scribble, 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 scribble.
Yeah. All right. So, dungeon map. You can see room 1. Do you see how I said it's like it's squiggly all the way around?
I don't know what you're talking about. Perfectly flat.
And each of the little hexes, each of the little squares is 10 feet.
10 feet. All right.
Yeah. So, through the entrance, you're not hearing anything in that room. Yeah, that you're not hearing anything in that room.
All right.
The walls inside, have like bands of iron that look like they're coated in oil. There's still some signs, like spotted signs of rust, but it looks like there's a thick, like tarry substance on them that keeps most of it from rusting. And there's like these vertical bars of iron running from ceiling to floor in these
Interesting.
ridiculously like 20-foot tall rooms.
I would like to, right off the bat, coming into a new area and not getting any audio cues or anything about what's going on. Let me get a cast of detect magic for the area.
Yeah. And you're doing Detect Magic. Everyone else can make a quick look around check.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you have any
Look around.
particular skills for searching or anything, like if you're an elf, you go to +2 on this. But otherwise, it's just 2d6 plus your wisdom. If you were a thief, of course, you'd have, the thief look. But
That'd be cool to be
guys,
at some point, but I'm not.
well, hey, little S could always take Scoundrel as his
That's
secondary
true.
class.
We were talking about that, weren't we?
Can I become a scoundrel, or do I not have the stats for that? Is that what's up?
Yeah, I mean, you're just a fighter. You get to be a fighter all the way through. You can take some secondary skills as you level up.
Okay.
But yeah, you're just gonna get good at fighting. You're gonna get really good at fighting.
I want to throw things. That's what I want to do.
You can totally throw things.
What are we rolling?
2d6 plus your wisdom plus 2 if you're an elf. This is just like a quick perception look.
Elves are super perceptive. I am just not.
I mean, if you
11.
got
Wow.
an 11 or better, because it's not completely noticeable, but an 11 or better, you realize that near the door,
Near the door.
above the door,
Above the door.
but just inset,
But just inset.
there's like an opening, and you can see the bottom of what looks like some of that same iron that mounted along all the walls. But you can see
Really
the bottoms of them maybe pointing down with a strip, as though that can be lowered like some sort of portcullis that's not anything to do with that wooden door, but wouldn't touch the wooden door.
Looks
and it
like
would
a trap.
open on, yeah.
That's right. We don't have a rogue.
No.
I could throw something at it.
A detect magic, looking around the room, you don't see magic.
So it's probably mechanical in nature.
It's a Martha Stewart trap.
Who's the Martha Stewart?
He's a goblin. He's really crafty.
Really good at baking things.
Yep.
The portcullis is gonna bake us into a pie
And being a goblin.
and make
Eventually,
us into a
we'll
goblin.
go to jail for insider trading.
Look,
Mhm.
Martha Stewart is part of this dynamic, like, two-person group that one of them's this hardcore criminal, really messed with their spouse and stalks people, and the other one is Snoop Dogg.
I was gonna say.
I like it.
There was no one better to be than myself.
So amusing to me that those two, of all people, became like BFFs.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It makes all of the sense. Martha's good
I
at cooking.
wish I
Snoop
bet
Dogg
on
smokes
that.
weed.
Billion
Look,
to one.
They're
odds.
both pretty chill. And
The way to a
here's the
man's
thing.
heart is
No,
through
no.
his tum tum.
Think about the culture that Snoop Dogg was raised in.
Yeah.
LA, African American culture. You tend
Bag
to
yourself
be,
a rich white lady.
White
Yeah.
people are evil. Yeah.
and you tend to be respectful of rich old white ladies because they can mess you up.
Martha Stewart's also self-made. She's not like an Elon Musk fucking Emerald Mines billionaire. She came
No,
from
that's true.
fucking nothing.
Well, she didn't come from nothing. What she
Very
came
little.
from was a family that had fallen on hard times the generation before her, but she had a lot of relatives who were like Connecticut, like well-to-do wasps. So she had family that was more well-to-do than hers was when she grew up.
Right.
Connected at least.
Yeah, it wasn't that she didn't come from privilege completely. It's just that her immediate family was not one of the privileged wasps.
The privilege. It's dangerous.
One of my friends, Jeff Irian, he went to boarding school with a kid who dated for like 3 years, Martha Stewart's daughter.
Damn.
That's gotta be intimidating as fuck.
So he had some backstory on things, like how when Martha Stewart's first husband left her, she stalked him in the creepy sort of way for years afterwards.
What? Okay.
She would hire like private detectives so that she always knew where he was, so she got continual updates, so she could just show up at a restaurant with a reservation for like 30 minutes before the one he had made with his new date.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Martha Stewart then. That's what I'm saying right now.
That's creepy.
So Snoop Dogg is her friend based on fear.
Yeah.
Or
She's
mutual
got
respect of like she's got game.
Right. I was gonna
Yep.
say I'd like What did he do that evoked that white hot rage? Is what I want to know. Right now we're getting one side of the story that's painting Martha Stewart a very certain kind of way. I want to know why.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like,
no. Like, I'm gonna.
Maybe the guy was a son of a bitch. Did she want to know where the fuck he was at all times so she could flex the shit out of the situation?
This is me having heard it third hand, not even second hand.
Right.
But it was still. It impressed the son. Like, it impressed the guy dating the daughter enough where like he definitely walked softly for a couple of years.
That's you know what? I gotta say that's not a bad strategy right there. Just claim it like, yeah, my mom was Martha Stewart, by the way.
I mean, if you have the money to flex on it, yeah.
We'll fucking kill you. What?
Yeah, so no magic. And
right.
definitely the entranceway looks like it has a iron gate trap. You're not sure what sets it off. None of you are thieves, unfortunately. And you guys didn't see any like obvious like pull button, like lever, trap the door. None of that.
Do we have the capability of investigating for like pressure traps or, you know, see?
I mean, you could get like a 10-foot pole and start poking things.
Oh, that's just gonna.
All I'm saying is that's your guys' ability.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys have any specific spells for that, and you definitely don't have a thief for that.
And Linus, you know, yeah, I mean, we'll stand over here if you want to like touch that and run. We'll watch.
I feel like it's just gonna drop down and prevent us from getting in, or trap us in there if we go inside.
I don't like it.
Seems odd.
Seems bad.
But this is where we need to be, right? This is where we've tracked this person down to.
So what you're saying is we gotta.
Yeah.
All right.
Go back to the farm.
No, right? Travel all the way out here. There's a portcullis. Yeah, let's go.
So Helga had been with 2 other hunters in the area, doing some hunting up in the hills above here, and they were swinging by this place before they turned to cross north because they were going to do another run, and they decided to follow more through the goblin area because there had been some bad weather and they didn't want to be up higher elevation. And so they crossed paths with the person who was coming to this facility. So they noticed that this person went there, and then they didn't see anyone else in the trails leaving further out. And so when they came back to Threshold and found that, oh, it turns out that person had been the one who had been the thief, they went to this facility. So that's why Helga was like, yeah, I can lead the people back there because I remember seeing someone do that. Helga's just like, I'm going to stay outside because like this ain't my bag. I'm not a dungeon explorer.
Ask her if she knows anything about traps.
No. She knows how to set snares, but that's like tomb traps or building traps. She has no knowledge of. She could snare, set some snares for you.
Okay.
But that's not the same thing.
Is the portcullis, does it have like a solid bar that would drop down with it? Or does it look like the bar would cause the port?
Each of the strips of iron looks like it's 1 inch by 2 inches, and they're spaced out about 4 inches apart. And there's a bar of iron that's about the same thickness running along the base that looks like someone has hammered bolts, probably drilled a hole and then hammered heated bolts in the middle, and then basically hammered them shut on both sides. So it's simple ironwork, but it's like somebody who A, had forging knowledge, and B, kind of knew, like, you had to know what you're doing with that and had access to a good forge, built this at some point. And then all of it's coated in that weird blackish oil, so it may have been done a century ago by dwarves, or 2 centuries ago by dwarves, or longer. Because if it's sealed in oil, like, who knows how long it is.
Okay. If we got like a big piece of wood that would like fit between the floor and the iron bar, does it look like, based on how it's set up, that it would probably prevent it from falling?
It might, but it could also just crush it if the iron is heavy enough. Like, if that thing weighs like 2 or 3 tons, which it might,
yeah,
it's just gonna crush it.
All right. Well, I mean, we need to get through the door. We don't really have a means of going around it, because I certainly don't know how to drill through a wall. Do we want to try propping the portcullis in place? Could we like maybe fit some pitons in there, prevent it from falling?
You can give it a try.
Sounds good to me. I don't know if I have any pittance to spare. Is the only thing. Looking at my character sheet.
Yeah, no, I do. I got plenty. Yeah, that was gonna be my only suggestion. I got these spikes on me.
I have iron spikes, but
Yeah, those are pitons.
got
Yeah,
it.
I got a few spikes
How
myself.
many iron pitons you guys want to hammer in?
Few?
Yeah, we
least?
probably do at least 6, easy.
Yeah, like however
Like-
many will fit on either side of the
Like
door.
3 on each side, just like pointing up at an angle. Like try to get it so that it, like,
Yeah.
it'll wedge them in at an angle on the ground, and then put
Yeah.
one vertically above it, so it'll push them. So hopefully it'll catch each side. Yeah, you guys can totally do that. You set them up. You guys have that in place, and then are you guys exploring into room 1?
Yeah.
Who wanted to expend the iron spikes? I have 10.
I had 12.
I had 12, so. I can
Oh,
do
you guys
something.
got the shit ton of
Other
iron
2,
spikes.
yeah.
Just one of us just want to use theirs, and then we can
Yeah,
just...
I just -6 from.
You're -6 from... Okay.
Okay, well, there you go. I'm gonna say we spread it out. I'll take 3, but just take it all.
Look at a half dozen.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, that at this point you guys are then going to enter because you're like, okay, hopefully if the trap goes off, it's not going to do anything to us. And as you walk into room 1, the room appears pretty empty. Just there's another one of those wooden doors, much the same way as before, but in front of you, leading to the north. You hear this kind of like musical, low-pitched, feminine voice in Theatin.
Don't trust it. It's evil.
Who dares to enter the shrine of Elwyn unbidden? Turn back now, for ahead lies certain death. And then there's
I've
this,
heard
like,
that
high-pitched
before.
feminine laughter. At which point there's a loud boom, followed by immediately a crash and this horrible like shearing noise, like a car wreck.
Behind us, I'm assuming.
Yeah, as the like literal like the iron, you realize actually had every like 2 feet there was another iron bar, so the thing actually weighed a lot more than you anticipated.
Damn.
And it literally kind of bent, folded, and while it didn't go all the way to the ground, so you did keep it from dropping completely, it smushed your and folded over your iron spikes, also folding itself a little bit. So you guys definitely caused some permanent damage to the thing,
Nice.
along with permanent damage to your iron spikes.
Yeah.
And there's now an air gap of about 3 inches at the bottom.
3 inches.
3 inches.
Nah, shit. I thought we had like 3 feet. We could crawl underneath.
No, it sheared your spikes.
Wow.
There's a smear of iron on the walls because it literally left behind iron as it scraped them down with like it was like a car crash.
Damn, that shit was heavy. All right.
Yeah, because it's like 6 tons of iron slammed down on your guys' 6 iron spikes.
Fucking A.
All right. I don't
Unfortunately, you guys had a decent idea, but none of you are like
We're not
either
ready.
dwarves or people who are actually like professional trap people or people who like have mechanical engineering or anything like that.
So we should just use 100 next time because we don't know.
All I'm saying is, if Gabe was playing his gnome,
Yeah. If I was playing my gnome, it would have been a way different story.
he'd have made a contraption, and everything would have been okay. And you guys then hear another unlatch, and you realize the wooden door to the north is now swinging free, as though it had been latched previously. You hadn't even gotten a chance to check it yet.
So I'm just gonna say, if you wanted us to turn back, we can't really do that now. Kind of defeat the purpose here.
Well, I mean, we're not dead, so Yeah, I guess we just move forward. But
Yeah.
I gotta say, Ella Nora's looking a little cross-eyed. I think she's kind of tired.
Well,
she's muted, but she's screaming, "It's after 10!"
yeah,
We can do this as an ending spot. Like, you guys are now at the site. We've got some stuff. So here's a question. Do you guys want to, having done a few character things, do you guys want to stick with the Beckme stuff? Because it's kind of rules lighty. We don't really have to then redesign characters. And it's mostly just role playing your characters.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like the Beckme. I do. My absolute biggest like thing I'm gonna throw in the mix here as to what we could do is Avray is fucking amazing, and so if we did do 5e with the D&D Beyond sheets, then we can use all that stuff where you just click of a button on your character sheet.
All right, so how about this?
And...
Before the next time we play, because we can take a look at it and see how they feel. If you guys want to try converting your characters over, I believe I gave XP totals if we do a 5e one. We don't necessarily have to use it, but like take a look at it and see how you guys feel your characters fall out. So if everyone really likes it and like, oh yeah, these are really exciting characters in 5e version, we can do a conversion. Because I think you guys all leveled up. I'm not sure
what I would be if I was in 5e, because I'm like...
You would probably be...
I'm like a swordmancer, but I also cast spells. Like...
Yeah, so I would actually say you probably would be a fighter with the subclass, what is it, the Arcanist or whatever, Eldritch Knight, and then you might even have like 2 or 3 levels of Wizard. You might even have 3 levels of Wizard where you split it, where it's like 4 levels of fighter, 3 levels of Wizard, and so you still have 3rd level spells.
See,
it's neat. I will say though, like personally, I'm split. Like I love Avray and all of that functionality. I think it's really cool. But I love old school RPGs and video games.
I like how classic this feels.
That's my thing. Is I love the fact that it feels like our characters aren't just superheroes running around a land full of NPCs. In this, you know, our pitons matter. We can't just like teleport past the door. And you know,
and it's one of those things where it's like that was a demonstration of you guys don't have a thief in the group.
Yeah.
I think ultimately, as much as I love Avray and all of that functionality, this is fucking awesome. So my vote would be to stick with Beckme.
Okay. Yeah, we'll stick with Beckme for now. We can always revisit it later. Let's if this Thursday works for you guys, we can tentatively plan for the 27th.
If Thursdays work, I could also.
My schedule is still unfortunately closing shift, which is not conducive to other nights.
Yeah, I close on Tuesday as well, so yeah. I understand. It's not the funnest schedule.
I mean, me keeping all closings means that I can guarantee I can keep a Friday off. So I have Thursday, Friday as my weekend.
Okay.
Since I'm not low man in the totem pole, but if I didn't have just Fridays off, I'd have to have and didn't have all 5 closings in a row. For instance, I can't pull off asking for Monday to Friday 8 to 5.
Yeah, I mean I work on Saturdays, so does Mana. Yeah, we had to just compromises. My schedule's way better now.
If I had Saturday, Sunday off, I'd have to accept doing like some closings, some mid, some openings, and that sounds like a recipe for getting a heart attack.
Dude, fucking clopening? No, I will not. I refuse. Clopening. I refuse. I only close one day now, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do any others. Like, I'll do the one.
Here's the thing: all the people above me, all the actual supervisors, they all do shenanigans. Like, at least 3 of them have clopens, because they like the way they line up their schedules is they don't have great days off. And in order to pull it off, they have to cover shifts, and so yeah, they cycle from openings, mids, and closings.
Jeez.
Dude, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it sounds like a heart attack, dude. Like straight out, like that would kill me. I can't do that. I like money and a job, but that will kill me. I cannot do that.
I did it for about 4 months at Sonic, and I was almost ready to stop showing up at the end of it.
No, I closed for like half a year.
So I did the first year I did all closings, which wasn't horrible, but like because I had done that full year of all closings, I was able to talk them when I got level 2 tech into giving me the Monday to Friday 8 to 5. But then when I got promoted again to being in a supervisory position, they're like,
back to the bottom of that again, yeah.
Because even the people at the top of the supervisory, except for Luke, don't have Monday to Friday.
Are you TSS?
No, I'm just a lead. I'm not a TSS yet.
Okay, so okay, you deserve
I
it.
won't be able to become a TSS until somebody either leaves the company or they open up new teams, which might happen as we grow out into LA now, because LA just opened up.
Is that with actual fiber?
Yes, actual fiber is not just already laid, but live at customer sites now in El Segunda, which is cool.
Nice.
That is pretty damn cool.
Yeah. So, as it stands, XP-wise, let's see what it looks like. I don't think anyone leveled.
No.
You guys were kind of midway through level. But it wasn't a horrible take tonight. It was each of you got like 2,000 something XP.
Nice.
Yeah. The person who got the least was a little less. He got 94.
Well, I mean, we didn't kill any dragons this time.
Well, no, specifically, his little less eats off of like you guys got the credit for defeating 24 goblins. You got the credit for defeating 24 giant bees, 6 giant bee drones, and 1 giant bee queen because you technically did defeat them. You just didn't kill them. And he also got the equivalent XP from the treasure, but he doesn't get the story awards like you guys do. So when you guys are following up on things and you're doing the role playing and you're following up and you're figuring things out and progressing quests, you guys earn that XP. Your NPCs that hang out with you do not earn that XP. I've made that as the distinction. That way, PCs always level faster than the hirelings around you guys.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Man, it's good. It's good to be back. So we do have in our other campaign a new friend of ours. Cynthia works at Spark, and one of her coworkers got to know a little better and was like, "Yeah, love to try D&D." So he and his partner, thank you. They were at the wedding. I think you definitely met them. That was Ray and Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, they Ray is like a professional artist, not like is a professional artist. So we have some cool artwork from our other campaign because they can't help themselves. We're having such a good time on D&D. Can't help but to like use those skills. So we got some commissions that we've done. How many? I think we've done like 8 now in total amongst the group. 8 different commissions on it.
I think everybody but Captain's gotten one, and then I also did like another one for you and Tappy for GDC.
Yeah, the GDQ. Yeah.
Just haven't had the cash.
Yeah. I would love to get some artwork done for this campaign. Like, I'd love to get Blarth. That'd be cool. Asiago would be cool. I don't know
I could see Blarth with like his glowing sword at his side with undead while he's trying to tell jokes to the skeletons.
And I believe I have a shield that has 2 short swords grafted and sheaths on it now too. So I'm gonna be throwing
because you guys have gotten some
jokes.
cool stuff at the. Yeah, that makes sense.
I could do that comedy act with the person's on a wheel and they're spinning and I'm throwing knives at them blindfolded. Because I have blind shooting, so.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. You've been practicing blindfolded knife throwing at people.
Yep. And
that builds character right there.
There'd be some great artwork for that, and Mana as the DM had a favorite NPC, Polly, and got some artwork done for that. So if there was ever a character, Andy, that you were like, man, I would love this animated, we do have someone who would take commissions with fantastic art.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
next time, 2 weeks from now, Thursday.